All right. Good.
Hey there.
Well, we're
Guys, what's up, man?
Oh, his audio is still connecting.
and I think we're live now. So sorry folks for all those technical
Hey.
difficulties.
Hey,
How's it
how you
going?
doing?
All right.
Going pretty good. Going pretty good.
All
Nice.
right, fellas, what good, fellas?
Well, we're live now. So Casey and I could do a little bit of an intro, I guess, and then we'll get into it.
Okay,
Right.
that's good.
All right. So for welcome to another kitchen sink microscopy, live edition. I'm Eric Rosenblatt, otherwise known as Peter Capaldi, because I was just told that I look like the 12th Doctor from Doctor Who today. So yeah, I'm Peter Capaldi, I guess. We'd love it if you'd like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff. Yeah, it would help.
And I'm Jason Statham. I'm Jason Statham. And no, I'm Casey Rochford, another bald bloke. And we've got a couple guests on. A return guest, Ocean, and a new guest, Josh.
Yo,
Yeah. Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Doing good.
what's good, family?
Yeah.
Good to have a fresh new face on
I'm
with
far,
us.
I'm far
Oh,
as
yeah.
Whitaker.
Yeah,
Yeah, they say I got the laser eye. I'm far as Whitaker tonight, since everybody got their celebrity,
Yeah.
their celebrity aliases.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I hear Mike Tyson a lot. I don't know.
Mike, Iron Mike.
Iron Mike. Wish I had his
Oh,
money
yeah.
at least, you know.
All right, now you got to talk with a lisp all night. So
Oh man, don't do it. Pick
welcome
somebody
to
else,
Kit and Think Microscopy.
Yeah, we're just all a bunch of stunt doubles, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Oh man.
All right, so Ocean, you had kind of an idea about something to talk about tonight. So why don't you lead us into the topic tonight?
Well, I definitely don't mind. You know, I was just thinking that in the wake of the George Floyd case, the verdict or whatever, and you know, I just want to know. Well, I got my ideas about what it means, but I just want to pick you guys' brains about what it means. Was it all just a show because they knew that they back was against the wall and they had no choice but to put this man in jail, or the country was gonna be set on fire? And I also want to know what kind of precedent does it set going forward? You know what I mean? So that's just basically where I wanted to approach it from in all of these types of. And I also, before we go, I also wanted to know how y'all feel about these police doubling down on their stance and still murdering black people 4 and 5 days out the week. Now is you get another viral story of them doing the same thing, and this right after, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like what's really going on here? So that's basically why I contacted you and felt like we needed to talk about this stuff, man.
Yeah. So to your first point, I think that's actually a really great observation. And you know, like so many times we've seen video of cops doing bad shit, you know, just like this, and they walk away scot-free. And you know, this time there were such bad riots and, you know, huge protests around the world. It was kind of a PR nightmare if they had taken the verdict the other way. I mean, that would get into the realm of like paying off jurors or something, though. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's quite gone that far, but
Well, nah, I don't think they went as far as to pay off the jurors, but I definitely think that, you know, with people lined up outside the police station while the verdict coming out, you know what I mean? It's like
I heard the jurors were getting death threats from, like, you know, back the blue folks. So they actually had pressure.
I'm
Yeah.
from
sure.
that end too.
I'm sure they got that type of pressure because the people in the street that they're protesting this shit, they ain't the one that's threatening to kill you and doing all this savage ass shit. You know, the people in the street basically just like, we here, you know, take account for us and all of this America shit that y'all doing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like you said, the people, the blue people, them are the motherfuckers who are really will kill your ass. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
have no remorse about it. They'll kill their own just as quick as they'll kill me. They'll kill somebody who look like you, who saying some shit that's going against what they got going on.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately, you know, I think the best, most compelling evidence was that video. And I think that video did sway the jurors' opinions. Like no matter what went on during the trial, you can't escape just watching someone being, you know, murdered. You can't escape that fact. So I
10-minute murder.
Kind of, you know, I was kind of optimistic about like, yeah, it's gonna end up being, they're gonna find him guilty for murder. And I guess to the second part of your question was, you know, how do I think it's gonna change things? Well, you can bet right now all over this country, every police department, every sheriff's office right now, every day of in the near future, right, are going to have their officers in a classroom saying, look, these are the things you don't do. These are the things you can do. And we will not back you. Because the thing about it, the biggest threat that you can kind of make to a police department is not necessarily about the officers, but either messing with their funding, like their money bringing in something, or getting to the point where nobody's jobs is safe, especially with the sheriff since they're elected. Like you can bet everybody going through some type of training right now to make sure that this same thing don't happen. I mean, it is going to happen. You know, it's a pendulum swing. It's not going to be instant, but at the same time, yeah, the culture is shifting. It's shifting to a degree. It has to. That was such a monumental moment in our history. I mean, you have protests. What did I post in 69 countries? Like, yeah, something has to move. Culture has to, you know, people are people at the end of the day.
That was, yeah. If that many countries are involved, it's a huge deal.
69, nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Can I just want to say that qualified immunity is bullshit, and that needs to end.
So here's where I stand with that.
Wait, I got a few more points. Just a couple short things. We'll see how much I can go through with all the beer I've had. But as far as like things that this particular event has changed, I think this is going to be a big deal when it comes to training.
Yeah,
it'll change police training far and wide. Like they're going to approach it completely differently. Like it, and that probably for the better. I would hope.
Yeah.
The other thing is body cams and cell phones. Like that is a game changer. That saves lives. That's why people are able to know the truth about things, is because you have the body cam footage from the cops, you have cell phone footage. Everybody's a reporter now, basically. And you know, video doesn't lie. Well, especially video from multiple angles. When you have a whole bunch of, it could be obfuscated a little bit. Maybe it's cut in a weird way. But when you have a whole bunch of different angles, things become pretty clear at that point.
Exactly. Yep, I 100% agree with that.
And that's a total game changer.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
See, the
thing. Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a point real quick about qualified immunity. People always say, well, if we don't protect the police, you know, they're not going to want to do the job, you know, because their life would be on the line. It's like your argument is that their life is on the line and that's why they are heroes, right? So which is it? Are they
exactly? I mean, I think fundamentally the concept of policing is a public good, right? It's something that you know, a certain amount of power that we give to people to protect us, right?
Mhm.
To make sure that your individual rights are kind of kept intact, to make sure that, you know, the killer down the street doesn't end up becoming the baron of the neighborhood, right? That's trying to keep that power in the hands of the state, you know, and not some random whoever what strong man comes along.
Right.
But when you do something like qualified immunity, you lower that standard down so much that then the police actually become the thing you trying to prevent.
Right.
You know, they should be held
That
to
is an excellent point. Yes.
yeah, they should be hired. They should be held to a higher standard, not a lower standard. Because anytime you're gonna give someone hold on.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
you're good.
But yeah, if you're gonna give someone a gun and you're gonna give them state powers, if you hold them to a lower standard, ultimately what's gonna happen is they're gonna abuse that power. Anybody would. I don't.
Yep.
You know, there have been like psychological kind of experiments done. You know, and I'm sure y'all probably aware of it, where you know, they make the college students prison guards. Half of them are prisoners, half of them are the guards, and they begin to abuse their powers. They real lax with them and let them abuse them, or you know, didn't stop them from doing it, and it got out of control. They literally had to cancel that experiment, I think. So I mean, if you think that's gonna happen with college educated students up at some, you know, prestigious university, what the hell you think gonna happen when you pulling from a pool of people that normally is not college educated, and a large group of people? I think what are there, like 800,000 cops, a million? But I forget the number. That. But look, man, that right there is you guaranteeing abuse of power.
Well, absolutely. And this is not just a science experiment or some psychology experiment. This is real life. Like people's lives are on the line here.
There's a reason that saying absolute power corrupts absolutely is a saying, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we got a comment, you know, qualified immunity shouldn't exist for anyone from the president down to the lowest public official.
Exactly.
That's exactly true. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Here.
And basically that's what's going on. That's where the pendulum is swinging into accountability for these people who doing it. And you know, it used to take a long time for them to even get arrested for shooting somebody in the street. You know what I mean? Now, but you noticing what's going on now is they locking them up immediately, basically, and they knowing they gotta file charges on these people, and that's the only way to stop the police from killing people in the street, is to punish the police for killing people in the street. That's the only way.
I'm completely agree with that. And here's another thought, that most of these incidents are the result of enforcing bullshit laws.
Yeah,
you know, stupid ass laws like gun laws, drugs, prostitution, and whatever. Like nonsense stuff.
Motherfucker get killed for a tag light, my guy. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you know, I think that over policing right now, you know, we kind of grew up with it. That's in the culture, right? That like, oh, I'm driving and crap, a cop and he might pull me over. But when that actually, I think it came along like in the 20s or so, well, they kind of expanded police powers to say that like, hey, we could actually pull cars over and we could get into your business inside your car. So we don't have to come to your house to find out what's going on with you. We could just stop you and go in your car and try to figure. Well,
no, you're right. Like it's not just traffic enforcement. It's like, oh, we're gonna find some additional things to get you on.
Hey, Casey and Eric, excuse me, fellas. I got a question for y'all two directly though, because and Josh, I'm gonna ask you the same question, but I want them to answer first.
Okay.
When you see the police, Casey and Eric, is it a cringe moment for you? Do you tense up? Are you relaxed? Is it like fuck that police? How do you feel when basically the police maybe pull behind you while you driving?
Oh, well, I'll say yes, fuck the police. But yeah, my ass puckers a bit.
Same here. It may not be the same for all white dudes pasty as Eric and I, but just from my
No, it's just a question. I just
experience,
wonder.
yeah, just from my experience, like I've got that spidey sense that goes off, and I'll get a pit in my stomach the second I see lights, even if they go past me. I'm like, oof.
Well, yeah, because
Like-
here's the thing.
They're
They're
like,
not.
won't he do it?
Yeah. They're not just going to fine you. They're going to look for other things to get you on. And you could go to prison, like
You
just
could
because
go
of a
to prison, man.
traffic stop,
Yeah.
But
Because
I
he
gotta
having
say,
a bad day.
yeah, there is no point where a traffic stop should result in a death.
So,
Exactly.
So that's a good segue, but I'll let Josh answer first. The same question.
This is the kind of funny thing. I don't know if y'all know or not, but I was a firefighter for 8.5 years, right?
Oh wow,
Nice.
Right.
So,
All right.
yeah, I literally came up around a lot of the police officers in my town and even in the surrounding counties. I literally don't have that kind of guttural oh crap reaction or whatever that a lot of people have. I guess I became a firefighter when I was 19. And I got a buddy who's a state patrolman. I got several buddies in the police department, and it's always kind of been a thing where it's like, oh yeah, that's such and such. Even if you pull me over, you're like, oh man, what you doing? What you doing? So I never, I had to kind of get it externally. I had to get it secondhand from a lot of people. I didn't have a lot going on when I was a kid. I didn't encounter the police as much, and so it's weird, but my whole kind of disposition initially from it is not exactly what you kind of see from the average black guy, just because of my particular set of experiences. But of course I can see what's going on. And I know these guys, I know a guy right now. Of course, I'm not gonna say his name. He's a captain. Now, he fine with me, but in his basement, he got a fuck Joe Biden flag up, pro-Trump guy, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And we get into some of the worst debates, but I'm like, dude, come on, you know what's going on here. You know who you are, and you know what you do to people.
Well, and those debates are actually very valuable. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like those should happen. Discussions like that should happen. If somebody is feeling that animated about something like that, that's a point where, there should be a discussion.
Yeah.
So we might go against the stereotypes, all of us, but
wait, we haven't heard from Ocean. Like what? Give us your take.
Well, I grew up on a neighborhood where I wasn't necessarily doing all of that shit, but I was with the boys who were doing all of that shit.
Yeah.
So that you get it by association. So it's been numerous occasions when I was a kid when the police just pull up on us and question us, maybe search. You know what I mean? I've been in some of those situations. So, and along with what all the rest of the shit, what life taught me, and seeing these people gunning people down religiously, like it's their God-given right, I must say, when the police get behind me, I just like, what this motherfucker, please just get from behind me. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily get scared. Georgia, what I will say, especially the country town, Josh, you know where I live at, what city I'm associated with mostly, right? Oh, yeah. So a town like that, and the only time I do get a little bit nervous if I might have a little of the gas with me at a certain situation. But other than that, you know what I mean? I don't really worry about them because I know that, first of all, I'm protected by God. You know what I'm saying? And what either way it come out, I feel like if I have to meet God in any situation, I'm good with that. So I don't let them scare me, but I definitely have a little tense moment. That fuck with me when they come around. So it's not a great feeling. I'll put it like that.
Right. And there's definitely people who actually fear for their lives when they see police.
Oh yeah.
And to be fair, the police have a lot of scrutiny on them right now as well, and they might be feeling, it's like this vicious circle thing. Like they might be feeling tense too, and it just heightens the emotions, and leads to bad things. So
well, yeah, and
it's,
because
it's definitely a stressful situation. Go ahead, bro.
oh yeah, I was gonna say like that's a good point, because like with that scrutiny for a police officer actually, you know, not doing some kind of bullshit but defending somebody, right?
Right.
Someone's life is on the line and they're second guessing themselves because what they're going to be like, oh my god, are they going to judge me?
Am I the next dead Chauvin? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, am I going to be the next person? Like, and then now all of a sudden, an innocent person is dead because of hesitation. That's the thing that I fear out of that.
That is the pendulum swing. You know, how far back to the left do you really want that to go? I mean, you still want consistency in policing. You don't want it to get so lax to the point of where it's no longer even effective as, you know, as its original concept, you know, kind of put forth there. You do want an effective police force.
But you know, what I would beg to differ though, because only reason I would give any pushback, because I see these same police officers in very much highly dangerous situations with white men, and these white men some kind of way always make their ass back to the station safe and sound, and they be swinging hammers at the police and doing all kind of shit, bro. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. Go ahead.
But we just, to your point, we really just asking for equality of service for something that we pay for.
Right.
Because that's the thing. That's the other component that I kind of like, that kind of baffles me. That we never really have a conversation like about, we pay these people. They work for us. We pay these people. This is not some
all of us pay them.
Foreign, this isn't some foreign entity coming in to, you know, rule us like overlords. No, we literally pay money out of our checks so you can exist, so you can do a thing that would be a public good for us. Right. You don't exist to just only care about the laws with no compassion. You know, laws without compassion will just always lead to some form of suffering or, you know, violence or whatever. That's gonna always happen.
I totally agree.
Yeah, that's gonna always happen. Ooh. You know, and and I think, to give an anecdotal point, like I said, I got a friend who's a state trooper. He was telling me about a month ago or so that he pulled this lady and her daughter over, right? And he walks up to the car and the daughter is crying. And he notices it and he kind of like, oh, like maybe they just got into an argument or something. And he was like, y'all okay? You know, I just pulled you over for a brake light or whatever like that. I was just gonna tell you to go get it fixed. But is your daughter okay? And the daughter literally was like, I don't want you to kill me and mommy. Like,
ooh, oh damn.
Like, she literally start associating, you know, police with like, this could be the end of my life and my parents' life. Like, that's so, and that really did kind of which he's a pretty liberal guy, even as a state patrolman. He, you know, he ain't really with all that. He's a very laid back guy and stuff like that. But that hit him in such a way that he was like, look, man, what is going on in this country at this point? We gotta get this stuff back under control, and not like under the old system. We need a system of accountability that will actually, you know what I'm saying, make everybody feel better about it and provide justice to people, but also, you know, start kind of trying to not keep us demonized. It's a messy situation. They're gonna take some time.
It should be kind of like based on science and reason, right?
Well, it's on us. It's on us as the people, because it's not going to happen at a legislative level, not right away.
No, not right.
And that's where I started thinking about like starting some kind of nonprofit networking sort of thing where you put up these little tents around cities and stuff and have them well lit and have them staffed by volunteers. And when you see those lights come on, you just, you know, open the app or whatever, say, where's this nearest tent? And you go there and then you pull over and there's somebody watching. It's well lit. It's public. It's going to be on video. It's going to be live streamed. You know, all of this. And both sides, you know, the police and the person being pulled over or persons, they're going to hopefully feel safer in that scenario, because
Yeah.
everybody knows they're being watched, and everybody acts differently when they know they're being watched.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that would go a huge way toward like just de-escalating without anybody actually having to put forth the effort to de-escalate. Like it would just start out like at a neutral, safe space. Yeah.
And Josh, what you were saying, like about that family feeling like the cops were a threat, automatic, an assumed threat, it makes me think like, all of this is kind of a vicious cycle. There have been enough events in history to get people to think that like, oh, the cops are going to just kill you. They're going to execute you. And so they respond in kind.
Like this,
and
the police, part of their job title.
Well, but then the police see that response and they respond to that. And then it adds fuel to the fire. And pretty soon, well, we're where we are now, I guess.
How do you overhaul the whole system, man? The whole system need an overhaul, man. It's embedded into the bloodstream and the fabric of America, man. All of this shit is part of a diabolical plan, man.
It goes deep. Like the tendrils are really deep in the system. I don't
see when they wrote the Constitution. They didn't write. It wasn't no such thing as a black man when they wrote the Constitution.
No,
okay? You know what I mean. They wrote it for,
but the principles should apply to everybody, regardless of your skin color or something. Like,
not if I didn't account for you when I'm account for you as basically an animal, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was the compromise? Like the
two-thirds of a man or something like that.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of think that, like, the Constitution itself is a pretty good document if you're taking it without any kind of bias of like who it was actually for, whatever. If we can, if we just and it seems that we are kind of doing that. If we could just use that as a foundation, and we assuming that everybody gonna get these rights, I think it'll be actually a pretty decent document, and a pretty decent at least launching pad to further rights in the future. But yeah, when it was written, it was not, it wasn't written for Black people, but I think we have adopted it, and it's all of this stuff is real recently too. Like, because how old is America? America's what, like 252?
Something like that.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, like 1776-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
So okay. So it's 200 something. It's not
245 or something.
45. Okay.
Yeah.
So like for most of that time, I mean, you had like 100 years of apartheid. You had slavery since the beginning up to 1865, 66, 67 or so, right? That's when it was effective in like 67. Like I said, 100 years of apartheid after that. And then that was 55 years ago. This stuff isn't going to just poof overnight. You know what I'm saying?
No. Because you're talking the legal side of things.
Yeah.
There's the societal things to overcome as well. Those are like deeply entrenched.
Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, I think you were mentioning earlier, like, this is how we were raised, like that.
Yeah.
And people only see through their own lens, when they're lazy about it. They think this is the way it's always been because it's the way it's always been to me.
Yeah.
And, like, people think that in God we trust, and like one nation under God, indivisible, is exactly how it's always been. But that's from the 1950s,
Exactly. And then you have a lot of biases that are so ingrained in culture. I got a lot of conservative buddies. I'm sure y'all see me arguing with them on Facebook.
Yeah.
But like a lot of them, those guys in person, they're not nowhere near like racist feeling or anything. Shirt off your back type of guys, hardworking guys. But when they see these kind of national movement, their response is like, you're trying to take something away from me. You're trying to change the way like my life was. And they don't look at it like, oh, I'm gaining rights. They look at it like, oh, it's some more stuff that I might get, fired over or counseled over or something like that. Their perspective is completely different. They're stuck in that. They're conservative. They literally are conservative minded. They want to conserve what they have. They don't want the novelty of change. It's too much, and they think it's getting out of control. And that's just kind of what they are, and it's difficult to talk to them about it.
And that might be like an optics sort of thing or a perceptual kind of thing. Possibly. I don't know. I one concern that I have about some of this stuff is I worry that it could result in yet another moral panic.
Yeah.
And that's a concern to me because I think there's a lot of valid points here. And as soon as it turns into a moral panic, it loses pretty much all of its weight.
Yeah, it does.
Or a political thing.
Exactly.
Like you were saying, Josh, like, these conservative people, you would expect them to be thinking a certain way, and they aren't necessarily. And we really need to be cognizant of that. Like people aren't just in two different boxes,
left, right, whatever.
Yeah.
Like this is a part of the human condition. This is something that transcends politics. Like it shouldn't even be political.
Like I know police that think these police should be held accountable, and I know people that have never been a cop that think the other way. It's all over the place. It's
and that's the thing about having a discussion. I think like a real discussion.
Yeah, long form.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's why I like Joe Rogan is so popular.
Oh, hell yeah.
And infamous because of the fact that, you listen to him talk to someone for 3 hours, you can flush that person out. It's not like, buzzwords like, I'm gonna be tough on crime. That's a hammer. That's not a needle. That's not a scalpel. That's a hammer. Tough on crime, you don't know, what you're really subscribing to. You could be disenfranchising millions of people by your tough on crime because you don't know the details of it. You just like, yeah, of course I'm for tough on crime. You like memes. Memes are the kind of downfall of society. Yeah. Nuance is what we need.
Nuance, exactly. Yeah.
What is crime?
You could say whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
But that's just words. Actions and results are what matters.
Yep.
Like what you have accomplished is far more valuable than what you've said. Like any idiot can say things. I do that all the time.
But like what is crime? It's just what somebody told us is taboo. Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So why be tough on what somebody decided was a bad idea?
That was kind of what I was getting to with the enforcement of bullshit laws. Like, there's no differentiation as far as the law is concerned between like murder and tax evasion. They all carry the same weight as far as enforcement. And that's exactly why things are the way they are now.
I mean, if you break it down to the bare bones, George Floyd died over an alleged counterfeit 20.
Exactly.
What the hell is the big deal? Like, who should die over a counterfeit 20?
Exactly.
No one.
And that was kind of what I was saying. Like, no one should ever die over a traffic stop.
Right.
How did it come to that?
See, I got kind of one kind of thing to say about that as far as like the traffic stops. I've been thinking about it. Like you get a cop, right? You get a cop, he goes out here, get 11 to 14 weeks of training or whatever, get put on the street, go to all these domestic violence calls, see all this, messed up stuff or whatever like that. Then you want him to stop just this guy that works up there at the Walmart who's just trying to go to work. And, let's say this guy had just left from some seriously messed up domestic violence. Let's just go with what we just seen in Ohio with, the guy shooting the girl, right? That guy's gonna be back on the street pulling people over. Now he think like anybody, like if she had a knife and was about to cut somebody, anybody could do it. And it changes that it's a certain amount, it's a certain form of PTSD, what happens. and now they think everybody about to do something to them. And those, my kind of suggestion to that is trying to compartmentalize the police to some degree. Like the people that interacting with the public that just pulling people over, don't let them also be the people that go through the most crazy stuff in society. That's a dangerous situation. It's like bringing a guy back from Iraq who just done been in battle and say, "Hey, pull cars over." Like he's gonna shoot somebody.
That's a great
He's
point.
a soldier. He's a soldier. That's what he does.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He gonna
Yeah.
think, "Oh, this guy got a bomb. I don't know I don't know. Is he just like the guy, over in Iraq? I don't know what he's gonna do. I'm gonna shoot him."
It goes
Like-
back to the hammer analogy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't really know how these people gonna react to it. And then you gotta think
that's
it's
what the
what-
defund the police was supposed to be about, right? Is basically
Right.
just take that money and break it out into a bunch of different groups
My-
instead of
Right.
putting it all on the shoulders of the police. Like
like let's get some
that's
social
that's
workers in here.
disrespecting the police. It's basically saying, here, you do everything.
You do
I would take it a step
that's funny.
further as an anarchist. Get rid of all the bullshit laws.
Well, yeah.
And let's focus on the really important stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, I'm liking a lot of the logic that I'm seeing come out now. Like, it's taken so long for this to happen, but people are finally saying, like, like nobody should be dying at a traffic stop. Like, innocent until
Right.
proven guilty.
That should-
So
that should
everyone
be
that a cop
common
shoots
sense,
is
right?
technically innocent. Like
Yeah.
all these
Oh,
ideas.
that is, dude, that you just brought up a really good point. Like,
Yeah.
you're the executioner if you're a cop that kills
Mhm.
somebody.
You the judge,
And aren't they
jury,
supposed to
and
have due
executioner.
process?
That was an
It-
extrajudicial killing. That's what that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, if you kill him in the street, you the judge, the jury, and the killer. I mean,
Yeah.
and the executioner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just found somebody guilty.
And to
There-
me, it's like, even if you leave these bullshit laws on the books, if somebody starts fleeing, let them go. Like
Yeah.
there's no point to escalate at that point. Like unless they just killed somebody and they've got a gun in their hand and you think they're dangerous, let them go.
Yeah. Let them go.
Man, if
Yeah.
the
Well,
po-
yeah,
if-
because
if-
today you can go ahead. The NSA knows where you are, by the way. We could track people down if need be and sort things out in a peaceful and calm way.
Yeah.
But it's a less violent way.
What happens when you corner a scared animal? Shit's
They're
gonna
gonna
get
fight
fucked up.
back.
they're gonna
Yeah.
fight back.
Yeah.
And matter
Yeah,
of
getting
fact,
away
for
from the police should not be a death sentence, man. Just because you didn't make the arrest this time, that don't give you the right to kill me, man.
Right.
exactly. And to think about that trap animal metaphor there, what do you think a car is? When this guy comes up to the car with a gun, and let's say you do got some drugs or something in the car, you're like, oh crap, man. I got to take care of my kids. I got to do this. You're thinking about everything that's gonna go wrong in your life. This guy figures out what you got going on in this small area that is your car. That leads people to do irrational things. Like, if I've always kind of advocated for, like, okay, look, if you're gonna go and try to bust somebody for coke, don't wait till they're driving on the road. You putting everybody in danger, and then you walking up to a small vehicle, even if it's an SUV, it's still a relatively small area. And you got a gun, and they possibly got a gun, and you putting everybody's lives in danger. Just bust them at their house, surround them, and tell them to come out. Like, what are we doing? Why are we putting that type of pressure on traffic stops?
Here's the thing
and
with
those things ought to be something akin to like a fine.
yeah.
It shouldn't be a death sentence or a life in prison sentence.
Right.
That's why
Yeah.
people run. That's why they do desperate things.
Yeah.
Is because you have a family to feed, and well, this traffic stop means you're going to go to prison, and it's all over.
Well,
So now all of a sudden, fight or flight.
it's drugs
Fight or
again, right?
flight.
Like
yeah,
you guys might know this, but a lot of people probably don't. Back in the day, when you got pulled over, you got out of the car and went to the cop. Now the
Hey, I
cop
didn't.
comes to you. You're not allowed to get out of the car unless they say so. And that's because they want to find drugs in your car.
Yeah.
But if you guys got out and met in the street where nobody's hiding anything,
Yeah.
there'd be way less of these situations. I guarantee you.
If we just go ahead and just legalize all drugs and stop demonizing them, that'll solve a lot of problems.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
Like,
Yep.
Why are we trying to regulate something someone want to do to themselves? What thought we was the land of the free. What's going on? Like why
That's a good point. Yes.
Like if I want to do some DMT or something, why are you stopping me from doing it? Like, why are you trying to throw me in jail for 20 years for having this substance that you don't want me to have for what reason again?
Well, it's that psychology. Like, I don't like it. I don't want anyone else to do it. And there's a lot.
You could go to prison for suicide.
Yeah. You can go to, you can't even opt out. There's no way to opt out. If you fail at opting out, you're going to jail forever. So that's a kind of weird. Our system is innately kind of weird. And I think it all kind of spans from that that whole kind of like family element where they're like, okay, well, this is going to affect the families, and what about the children? And we don't need this kind of thing and these kind of people and all that. I think it kind of spans from trying to keep culture in a certain direction. So we're going to legislate culture to move in that direction. We're not going to actually let it kind of just free form or just be whatever it's going to be. We want to control it and make it like, no, you need to, go to college and start a family, and you're going to get into debt and you pay it off and you be proud that you paid it off. And it's this line that you're following.
Fit the mold, basically.
Yeah. It's, and anything against that not only is taboo culturally, but a lot of it is illegal. They don't even want you to do it at all.
Well, and that's the whole thing, like fit the mold or else.
Yeah. Well, American values. That's, and a lot of my conservative friends say, no, this is the freest place. And I'm like, I guarantee it's not. But I guarantee you it's not.
Well, it depends on your definition of free, I guess.
I mean, but if you look at it like as objectively as possible, like the freedom index that somebody came up with, like we're, I don't know, like maybe in the top 10, but
we are.
Make it with 12, something like that.
Yeah, we're not at the top. No.
No. I mean,
the land of the free.
We protect a lot of like hate speech and stuff. Like in Germany, you can't openly just like kind of deify Hitler. That's a crime over there. Which I don't agree with that in particular. I know why they doing it. I see that history, but I'm like, I don't know about that one. We
totally agree with that. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. We protect the hell out of any type of speech, at least on the governmental level. Now, people confuse that also with the corporate world and say, well, you can't kick me off Twitter. Or Twitter is not a public utility yet. If it becomes a public utility, then maybe so. But we got freedoms in that area. But you want to smoke some weed? No, you go to jail. And
honestly, like this is the thing that like blows my mind. The whole difference between the states, age of consent is different. Like you get with like a 17-year-old in this state, prison sentence. But if they're 16 in that state, it's like, okay. You can have a machine gun in that state and it's fine. But if this state, you're going to prison, you spoke weed over there in
Georgia.
I don't know. Yeah. You're going to prison. Washington State. No big deal.
I think they're trying to change it now, but it like so many people done lost so much of their life behind weed charges, 10, 20-year charges behind weed charges and stuff, bro. That's crazy. Now them same people, they can't sell weed now. And they now that they legalizing weed, who you think?
Corporations.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Getting the money off of the weed are the same thing that you done took these people, half of these people or more than half of their lives away for. So it just,
So here in Washington, we legalized marijuana in 2012. It went effective in 2013. So we've got basically like 8 years now of it. And the revenue was supposed to go to drug education, drug, rehabilitation and things like that. Educate. Certainly did not go the way it was intended.
And that's one of the more liberal states in the country. So imagine like we're in Georgia, blood red. They're not trying to hear that. And I think even a lot of Republicans now though kind of want to ease up on weed. I think
their children get caught with it.
Oh yeah, and then they grew up doing it. You know what I'm saying? You now got
right.
The chief of police that like done did it all his life when he was young and stuff, and now he done kind of got him a career and everything. He's like, yeah, man, darn, I'm putting people in jail for this, but I used to do it all the time. Like,
that's hypocrisy, and that drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
I've never done heroin, but I think like why is that illegal? Because it's just it's creating a black market. It's making it hard for people that are hooked on it to actually get ahead of it.
Well, and not only that, but there's no like free market. You can't just go into a store and buy it. Where there's some controls, and things are safe.
Where you know it's not
what
cut
it's
with
cut
something.
with.
Where you
don't know the processes,
testing on it and stuff.
And why does it go from 0 to 11 all of a sudden? I don't understand that shit. Oh man,
I don't know, man. I wish I had the answer to that.
It doesn't matter what you feel about a thing. Like if you don't like something, if you don't like smoking or vaping or heroin or pot, like it doesn't matter. It's the principle of the thing that matters.
Right.
The principle. Like, do you really want cops shooting people over this nonsense? Like over a substance? Like, would it be cool? Hey, if you think heroin's so bad and you think like SWAT teams like busting down doors, shooting dogs, killing kids is okay, would it be okay if it was over coffee?
Right.
No.
Just saying.
Right.
And there's a loop there with the private prison system, because what happens is you get people that invest in these private prisons. Then of course they lobby the lawmakers to keep and overly enforce these laws. Police officers, they go out and arrest as many as they can. And then in turn, when they make a bunch of money off that private prison, they go over there and they give extra funding to the police departments, scholarships and stuff like that. As a firefighter, we had like firehouse subs that'll give us $100,000 every now and then or so. But policing, no, they'd be like, oh, this guy right here, he has a foundation and he's going to give the department, $500,000. And I'm like, God, $500,000. Where is he getting that from? Oh no, he got like 3 prisons he invested in. Oh, I get it now. So he's funding them, and they basically feed him. Oh, I get it. So if you take bullshit laws off the books, it's harder to feed that man now. So
anytime you have
profit
off of somebody else's suffering, it's a bad thing. Like.
Well, and civil asset forfeiture is another problem.
Big problem.
The idea that like if you have too much money on yourself, you could be considered automatically a criminal because who would have that much money? So yoink, we'll just take that. Thank you.
Won't give it back.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've got
to
now.
And good luck ever getting it back. And time and time again, we've seen some nonsense there.
They've taken houses, cars, raw cash. Like they've taken like resources and be like, oh, this guy was over your house or whatever the case may be. And it's like, well, I don't really know him. Like he was over here with like his girlfriend. Well, I think that he got something to do with you. So we're gonna take the house, the car, and whatever cash you got and freeze your bank accounts till further notice. Further notice could be forever because
indefinite.
They don't give it back.
So basically what I hear all of y'all saying is the government got way too much fucking power and shit. I don't know what the answer is to that.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, I will high five you on that one.
High five, my guy.
A lot of that stems from stuff like Citizens United. Cash is free speech, so corporations just have at it, and anything that can be bought and exploited in capitalism will be. Right. I mean, even if you go back to everybody bring it up all the time, but even if you go back to slavery, slavery wasn't actually a function of hate. It was a function of capitalism. They wanted free labor without paying anybody, right?
Yeah.
So they can make as much money as they possibly can. Now, yeah, they use hate to kind of regulate it, right? And I'm sure, you know, they
hate
had
was just a little accessory to it.
yeah, you know, they had to demonize, or not even demonize, but you know, basically make animals of us, because if you're like, no, that's a person, but he's also a slave. How long that system gonna last? Somebody gonna come up and they're gonna be like, well, look, I've seen this person as a person this whole time, and y'all telling me he's a person. Why are we doing people like that? So you need some suspension of kind of belief that this person is equal or have value. And it's all
well, you need like a dehumanization. That was the whole thing. Like, you know, like viewing slaves as less than human, and like, I mean, clearly it's not.
I feel like a lot of that was like afterthought, like rationalizing their behavior.
Exactly. It was.
Like you were saying, it was a capitalism thing. They were like, this is awesome. We get this free labor. And then the slaves were like, hey, we're sentient human beings and we have feelings. And then the hate starts growing. They're like, you're threatening our capitalism, though.
They're like, no, you're not. No, like,
well, I would beg to differ on the capitalism side, but I agree on every other principle. So okay, yeah. So we agree on most things.
But yeah, I need to go and pick up this load. It was very nice talking to y'all.
Oh man, dude, if you gotta come back.
If you're done, you know, like fairly soon, that link should still work if you want to jump back.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I'm gonna get to moving after a while, and I can stop.
Because we tend to jabber a very long time.
We do.
Well, it's good having you. If we don't see you again, we'll definitely have you on again. So
because we got to talk about some other subjects outside of just socioeconomic ones.
Oh yeah, totally, man. This is great, dude.
You know,
hell yeah.
All right,
Thank
you, Josh.
See you later.
Man. I'll see y'all. All right, bro.
All right,
hold it down.
Yes, sir.
So I was curious, and I looked up like the definition of crime. And so I want to know what you guys think crime ought to be considered. Like what would you define as a crime?
Well, okay. I can I guess from my own principles of self-ownership, right? Like non-aggression principle. You know, if you initiate force against another person, that would be a crime. Anything else probably isn't. If it's voluntary, if all parties agree, then it's not a crime. It doesn't matter what the law says.
Yeah, and I think I kind of agree with that. Like I think there has to be something that affects another person. You know, however you define
against
that.
Their will. They did not choose to participate in this, and now they are.
Right. And I mean, like, do we still have you, Ocean? We lost your video.
I'm here. Well,
oh, okay.
I don't know what happened with my video.
So what do you think crime is, though?
Crime. Man, let me give it a second to register. I guess crime, it should be, to me, if it was my definition, it was something that maybe did bodily harm to another, or you know, some type of injustice to another person, or you know, just, I don't know if I can go with morally. I ain't gonna go with morally wrong, but I feel like it need to be some type of either physical harm or financial harm, or something that can definitely be pointed at as a wrong to another person or group of people or something like that. That's what crime should be to me.
Yeah. So I think we're all basically on the same premise. Like
I think so. Yeah. And morally, like I get where you're coming from, Ocean. But it's very hard to define.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it's something
that's why I said
feel.
let's not do more. I'm trying to get back to the damn video.
Well, here's what Wikipedia says, though. In ordinary language, a crime is an unlawful act punishable by a state or other authority. So effectively, it's just defined by what can happen to you and by whom.
But based on arbitrary legislation too.
Right. It's super
it doesn't
vague.
matter what it is.
There you are. You're back.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I'm back.
All right.
Super vague.
Technical
Like
difficulty, my guy.
Oh.
We worked it all out though.
And well, we got a comment. Crime is when one harms another. And yeah, like I think most people would agree that just all you got to do is put yourself in the shoes of like what you consider to be something you would think of as a crime, right? And it usually involves like somebody doing something wrong to you,
Right.
like,
I think that's actually
somebody
really
taking something from you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like doing harm. Casey, what you said, like putting yourself in someone else's shoes is something most people don't do.
But it begs the question, like, who's hurt by somebody paying for sex? Who's hurt by somebody smoking a joint over there? Like,
right.
Yeah,
I agree.
Or
man.
Possessing a firearm, right? Like if you got a machine gun, like who fucking cares? If you haven't shot anybody, who cares?
Yeah, if you shoot somebody, throw the book at them. But if you just own it, whatever,
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah, and all those things are kind of equivalent as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess to me it just go back to the government being also powerful, and whatever they say, these certain group of people who so-called got elected, I feel like chosen, put themselves there or whatever, but they get to make the decisions for all of us who probably they don't give a shit about us.
Oh yeah,
no,
I mean?
They totally do not. Yes.
So
do you really think a billionaire can represent us?
Here's a plot
that's what
twist.
I'm saying, man.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a plot twist. So if the government is throwing us in jail for smoking weed, that's a transgression upon us. Is that not a crime?
Ooh, the government committing a crime?
Yes.
Right.
Qualified immunity.
Right. Like, nah, you can't prosecute me for that one. They're gonna
here's the thing.
They'll make up a law right now and tell you they make up laws on the fly to get their ass out of shit.
Oh, yes. And that drives me up the wall. Oh my God. But laws on the books and all this stuff, like wait a minute.
I want to ask you guys
a really good
something,
point
man.
there.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I had a good point, but I might have lost it. I might have had too much beer. Hang on a second. Putting it down to long-term memory retrieval.
That might take a minute. Go ahead, Ocean.
Yeah, go ahead. It's all right. I'll figure it out. Yeah.
I just wanted you guys, like, did you guys feel like that it was a big media push to say that Black people were doing hate crimes to Asians, or is it a big media push going on right now, or do you guys actually feel like Black people are out here doing a bunch of shit to Asian people, trying to push them down and kill them all the time and shit?
That's news to me, honestly. I didn't know that was the rhetoric at all. Okay, I mean, I've heard of Asian hate crimes and stuff going on, but I didn't know that there was any spin on it, like it was coming from the Black.
I dug a little bit deeper into that and did kind of see that. I think it's kind of disingenuous, like it doesn't tell the whole story.
But
I mean, do you think that's like, I mean, I'm totally new to this idea, but do you think that's coming from a place of like,
I think it's coming from a place of like, Black people are beginning to, from a political standpoint, Black people are beginning to assert themselves a little bit, more than, Democrats or Republicans would like. And it's time to maybe like kind of figure out a way to it's all America is basically built on a system of as long as we can keep the black man at the bottom of everything, then the system is working correctly. So instead of
Yeah.
black people gaining all of this power, we got to figure out a way to cast them in a better light or not so positive light, because it's just like I take the George Floyd case. So the reason I think that it was a positive, because every win builds on to the next win. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a gaining momentum thing. So they gotta take any chance and any route that they can go to stop the momentum of the Black Power movement. That what I'm saying, because a lot, we pushing for a lot. We pushing for reparations and just total out. I'm not a big fan of Black Lives Matter, but the concept of Black Lives Matter is what really we pushing for. Like, we built this nation, so I just feel like the whole Asian hate thing was just a way to say, let's put them back in their place a little bit. Let's slow down whatever they think they got going on, and it's all what I mean. It's always something, some kind
It's
of
like
way
a
to
smoke
false
screen.
tear
flag
away
attack.
at the movement. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wonder what you guys thought about that.
Hmm.
I always come with the black stuff. I know. I
Yeah,
can't
no.
help it, man.
No, I mean
But you
that's
got
an
us
interesting
thinking.
that's an interesting angle, because I could see how like the white man in power could play off of the idea of, like, maybe they think, oh, the black community wants to corner the market on being the victim of racism, so maybe they're going to fight the Asians for that corner of the market or whatever. Maybe they played on that.
But do I have to roll up my sleeve and put a pack of cigarettes and start snapping?
I don't do that, man.
Well, I feel like there's an issue with I think it
caught up with me.
Yeah, I think it kind of dilutes a lot of things that this idea of perpetuating this black versus white sort of thing, like allows other people to take control.
Mhm.
Like, it's propaganda.
It's definitely bigger than black and white.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
The whole point was it's all
I just
propaganda.
saying it's definitely bigger than that.
Yeah.
It's sleight of hand. It's a magician thing, It's like you look over there while I do this, like you look at the black versus white, and we're gonna
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think most people.
I think they. Now you go ahead, bro.
Well, I would just say I don't necessarily think most people are good, but I would think most people aren't racist. Like. I think most
agree.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree that most people are not racist, but I disagree that most people are not good. I think most people are good, and most people are not racist.
Yeah, I mean that's a very subjective definition of good.
People are
maybe
simple.
Most people got good intentions.
Yeah, exactly. But people
That's
are simple, and they're able to fall prey to propaganda tactics and things like that. It happens. It's okay.
It happens.
Yeah,
it happens. All of us fell victim to it before.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think is the propaganda in the Chauvin case then? Because there's propaganda everywhere, right?
Yeah, there is.
So what do you think it is?
Oh man.
Well,
I broke everyone's brain.
Wow, mind blown.
Well, I mean, I definitely think that. Okay, well, that was a great question, and I'm glad you took it there. The propaganda was, like even Josh said earlier, 69 countries protested about this thing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you basically got to look at it as a curtain being right now. What's going on in the world? A curtain is being pulled back on America. People, the whole world is taking a closer look at America right now. And like, because you know, for y'all to be the land of the free or whatever y'all claim to be, the greatest power in the world, it sure is a lot of little bullshit that y'all got going on. And now that in the world of the internet, the whole world is gotta, you know what I mean? They seeing this shit live in action, like, damn, y'all doing this shit in America, y'all kneeling on black people's neck for 10 minutes in America, but you coming over here telling us that the way we living fucked up, but when I see the shit y'all doing is fucked up. So now you're looking at it,
and they're willing to go to war with other countries over those differences.
Right. So when you ask what the propaganda is, it's like it ain't necessarily Derek Chauvin on trial. It's America on trial if y'all gonna get this right or not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I would argue it's the whole world on trial right now. You know, this is not the
it's the world on trial.
Yeah, this is the human condition kind of thing.
Here's the propaganda.
It's the human race. It's the human race.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
A come to Jesus moment.
Here's the propaganda I see. We're talking about pulling out of Afghanistan. People are like, oh, if we do that, their government's gonna fall apart. We're holding them up. And it's like, who's coming over and holding our government up? Because it's fucked.
Here's the thing. Bad. Imagine if Russia thought that the US was doing things wrong and they invaded our country and militarily decided to take control. Would we be okay with that? Would we be like, oh yeah, hey, you're our saviors, you know
hey, Mr. Rescue Man, thanks for coming.
Yeah. No, we would
no, we're not gonna say that shit.
No, we'd be incensed. We'd be the you know, aggressors, the rioters, like we'd fight back.
Right. It's like ask the Afghani people what they want. Anybody thought of that?
Right.
Like
right. Come on, man.
Oh,
yep.
Man.
And
crazy,
that's the problem I see is like there's that propaganda just kind of rules the roost, and people just take that at face value and say,
because 90% or even better of the people gonna believe exactly what is presented to them without even scratching not even one level beneath the surface. You know what I mean? So it's like, they said it on CNN. That must be the truth. You know what I mean?
That is the point of this show. Is to get below that surface.
You know what I mean?
And it's kind of a confirmation bias sort of thing. Like, okay, you know, if you agree and wholeheartedly support the things that you believe, but you know, those others, right? Like the other people. Well, I think that's actually the problem. I don't know if that made any sense. I should probably have more beer.
Speaking of beer, I got a big old beer tonight, and I got it at Cosmic Bottles in Covington, Washington. Just a little play.
Well, this is I got the good old H2O in the building tonight.
You don't necessarily drink as your vice, right? Like
nah, I don't drink very often. On very rare occasions I take a drink. Nice. But I'm okay with it though, you know, to each his own, you know.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you know, if you ever come visit Washington, I'll show you some really good beers. And
I was about to say that.
I drink one with you. I definitely can take one or two down before probably two might be my limit. So I might drink one with you, and you know, I might start on the second one.
Well, and we'll have to see if you can handle Washington weed, because from what I hear, it's pretty potent compared to other regions in the country. So.
Yeah, I can speak to that. Yes,
it's pretty potent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get out there. I'm gonna have to get out there and take a visit and see what you're talking about out there. I'm gonna take you up on that.
Oh man. Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
So what else is good with you guys, man? How's life outside of YouTube? Everybody feeling good and healthy?
Yeah.
I mean, like my mom's got cancer, and so like, it's like a matter of time, and that's been getting me to think a lot about everything, and how short life can be and all that stuff. So,
man, that hits me close to home, dude.
Well, yeah, you lost your mom to cancer, and I fought cancer twice. Like, I've lost way more than I can count to cancer. It's a fucked up disease. I hate it.
Fuck cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck cancer.
I wear the tattoo with my ribbon,
Yeah. I'm glad to see you. You're looking strong and healthy right now, bro.
Well, I'm glad I look that way. Thank you.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Ocean? How you doing? How you hanging,
man, bro? I feel pretty amazing, man. I got a lot of good things going for me right now. Definitely all praises to the Most High for keeping me, you know what I'm saying, in a good mental state. I could complain about a few things, but nah, I'd rather keep it on the positive up and up. So yeah, I feel amazing, bro. Yeah, I really do.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Good to hear.
Oh yeah, you can always find something bad to talk about, but life is good for the
life
most
is
part.
good, man.
Yeah,
life is good for the most part.
How's your family doing?
Family is doing good, man. Son, wife, healthy and strong. The son, he probably bigger than me now. He'll be 15 next month.
Wow.
Oh.
So yeah, he's a little man now.
Oh, man.
When we first had you on the show, he was 13. We've been doing this a while now.
We've been doing this a while, man. He'll be 15 next month, man. He want to drive my car all the time.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm about to take him to get his learner license and stuff now.
Oh.
And we in the process now, actually, of setting him up. He getting ready to start his gaming channel. I'm right now, tomorrow actually. Yeah. Tomorrow actually I'm gonna go pick up probably the last few pieces that he need, and he gonna be doing some live streaming and just trying to go ahead and assert himself in the world, because he's a lot more adapt to this, social media world than I am, and he definitely got the personality and stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm basically trying to get him set up so he can be a independent young man and never have to, feel like, oh, let me chase this clock. I wish, if I could wish anything on my son's life right now at this point, that he never have to clock in for anybody. So, I know that he's smart. He's smarter than I am. He's not more handsome than I am. I'm not gonna tell that now, right? But he's smarter than I am. You know what I mean? He a little bit more adapt to. You know what I mean? He got something that I didn't have. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Like the hope is for all of us old folks that our kids are gonna go on to do better things. We should plug his channel down here in the comments.
Well, we haven't even named it yet, man. It's all brand new to us, man. We'll do another show soon, and we definitely gonna plug my son channel in there, man. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I'm gonna watch that shit. Like a gaming channel? Hell yeah.
And he gonna, he's a character, man. I gotta give him the freedom to, say what he want to say, and just have fun. So I'm probably not gonna. I probably won't be around him so he can feel free to do his thing. And he a kid, but these kids are fast and mature. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I want to give him the freedom to breathe on this shit. You know what I mean? That's what kind of father I am. Me and my son, we, straight up with each other about everything. So, it's just but that's definitely coming like in the near future. His stuff will be up and running. So we'll get back and do another show, and we're definitely gonna plug his shit, cause
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I believe the children are the future, man. You know, so especially
Oh
mine.
man, are we gonna
So-
break into song now?
I was about to. I was like, no, John, John got the R&B thing sold up. I was gonna drop my,
Oh wait. We could break into the song that you and I did for your first episode with us, like,
Oh man, yeah, hey man, hey, but speaking of that, man, you guys need to check out my last video I put up, the new gospel. It's definitely a spoken word that I did speaking while you know what
cool.
I'm saying. You guys need to check that out. I
Nice.
definitely I said some words on there. People don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Josh, check my shit out, bro. OMN Network, bro.
Oh,
You feel me?
okay.
I said I
seen
said
your
some
invite.
shit on there, bro. Yeah.
Okay. I'll check you
So,
out.
you know what I mean? People don't even understand how I get down with the with the spoken word type shit. So you know what
Oh,
I
okay.
mean?
Man, I totally love what you do. Like,
Yeah.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, bro. This one, the new gospel is kind of heavy. You know what I mean? I feel good about it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I will say that I could have delivered it a tad bit better, but I had to try that shit like 15 times. I was like, you
I
know
know,
what?
yeah, I know how that is.
Yep.
These motherfuckers don't even click on my videos anyway, man. God damn it. And you know what I mean? I'm not finna do it again. I got it out. I got it out though. So you know what I mean? Like,
I got
Yeah,
to say
man.
that song you and I did, I still listen to that all the time. Like it hits. Like that was some,
oh yeah, man. That was a nice track, bro.
yeah,
that
that
was
was
a
that was
nice
a
track.
real good flow, and it went together real well. And like I tend to have like that heavy metal kind of vocal, but it just blended so well, like
Yeah, it
that was
definitely
great.
did, bro. I appreciated that, bro. I
was
appreciate
awesome.
the look. Even
Everybody needs to check that out on Spotify. Scripture to Kitchen Sink. We got
Scripture.
Ocean here with me, and we're doing some rap. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, that was a good song. Oh hell yeah.
yeah, man.
I feel bad that I lived in Memphis for 4 months, just a few hours from you, and never got to go and visit you. But
You got out of Memphis, then you, bro.
yeah, Labor
You
Day
had-
weekend though, I'm gonna be back there for my buddy's wedding. We're gonna go to Nashville. If you guys want to like come up and go to Nash Vegas with us for a night, man, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Man, you
That would
know
be
what,
awesome.
man?
Hell yeah.
When did you say that is?
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
pretty much. I think I'm gonna pull up on y'all like that too, man.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, a
Damn,
barbecue. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't fly, but I'll
You're
drive.
gonna have to jump on a plane, Eric.
Nope. I will drive. I'll
might-
bust
yeah,
the turbo in the XP and drive out there.
Scion XB with a turbo on it, looking like a fucking like a high top sneaker, like going down.
No, a high top bread box, like the toaster.
Yeah,
Oh, God damn.
Wow, we got here from Chauvin. That's interesting.
I think it's actually like a pretty typical KSM video. We've gone down a lot of paths.
a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
No, it's good to talk about this shit though, and bring a lighthearted sense to it all, because I feel like a lot of people avoid these sorts of topics because they tend to go into a dark place, and
Mm-hmm.
and we can kind of have like some lighthearted fun with it, and
a lot of these topics, they offensive to a lot of people on both sides of them. When you get this, what I'm saying, getting to state your truth, because if I can easily, if I was a white man, I could easily feel the opposite of the way that I feel about a lot of this shit. I'm not even gonna sit up here and act like I wouldn't benefit from whatever that those white men benefit from who live like that. But you know what I'm saying? I'm over here on this side, so I gotta fight for what's close to me. You know what I mean? But that's a God. That's something that God gave me is the ability to see from a lot of different perspectives. So
Mhm.
I just appreciate it, man.
Oh
I
yeah.
appreciate the conversation.
Oh
Yeah, and it's important that everybody gets to say their piece, like you try to silence anything, and that's the suspicious moment, right? Like
Right,
if you got something to shut someone up about, there's something shady going on,
They touching
Well,
some kind of nerve.
And
Yep.
I think it's actually really telling that all of us were kind of like, oh no, you go ahead, bro.
But let's
Yeah.
add Josh. We didn't get a chance to add Josh what his definition of crime is.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh man. And you said the definition of crime?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I guess in my opinion, the definition of crime is I guess anything that adversely affects a human being, the environment, or probably animals. That's what I'm guessing. Anything that has an adverse effect to just like I said, the environment in any living thing.
Yeah.
That's
Man.
yeah.
And that's perfect because we all answered just like that and you missed it. So you have
Yeah.
no influence from us whatsoever, and you still answered the same.
Same
Yeah.
exact answer that everybody else said.
Yep.
So
Yeah. I mean, there are, of course, there are limits. I mean, you're not going to say, well, COVID got the right to survive over us, so we're just gonna let it do its thing. Like
Viruses are not technically alive, biologically speaking.
What about fire?
Fire?
No.
you
What?
don't want to say that word, do you?
It's a chemical reaction. So now,
Sorry,
That's
just a Star
enough
Trek
beer for you,
reference
Eric. That's
and I guess from the humanist perspective, I guess anything that would have an adverse effect on us. I mean, that's kind of getting into it, but anything that would have an adverse, let's say it was a rat infestation. You say, oh, well, rats don't have the right to live. I mean, they obviously do, but not at the cost of like causing harm to us. If you living in an area and it just got some big infestation and making all the kids sick and the old people die, then I think that's reasonable justification to get rid of the rats. But if you just going around killing rats, I'm probably gonna think you're a psycho or you got something else going on there.
Yeah.
I don't even agree honestly with you, like hunting for game. I can see if you're saying like, okay, their population, whatever you hunt, is gonna kind of overrun and destroy the ecosystem of whatever said ecosystem is. And so you try to do some controls to keep a balance to it. Oh, okay, maybe I can see that. But if you're just doing it to do it, yeah, I run into some issues with that.
That's a good point. I've been wanting to do like a minute microscopy on that, like one of our shorter videos, because I think like there's definitely an argument to be made for hunting for food, because that's how we came up, like you can't deny that, but just doing it to like have a trophy or whatever, I think that's kind of fucked up, that's another life.
People raising lions to set them free in the wilderness and go kill them and shit.
Yeah, like I mean, I think especially for like macro life, like are humans kind of the arbiter of like who gets to survive and who don't? What's justifiable and
man.
Not,
oh, that is
and it varies, right? Like if you go to like Zaire and shoot a chimp, they're putting you in jail. It's very you know what I'm saying? You shot a chimpanzee, which is our closest cousin. Is where do you draw that line? I mean, I guess
they're very close to us, very close.
Yeah, they very close. So where do you draw that line? Do you say like, well, don't kill a chimp, but I wouldn't give a crap about an elk?
Right.
Here's food for thought, no pun intended. But our genomes are actually super close to pigs too, and we eat bacon like nothing.
Nothing. Yep.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yep.
Oh, but bacon is so good. Oh man.
Yeah. I mean,
Ugh.
and I do think there's some, I'm not a vegan, I'm not far from it, right? But there's something to be said about farming animals and just using them as food. I know a lot of companies are going to this kind of like no mental trauma on the animal for their whole lives until they actually are slaughtered, to serve the public or whatever. And I guess that's probably like after being in that business so long, they kind of like, look, man, it's kind of bad that you raise a cow, you beat them, you put them in cages, you do everything else, then at the end you eat them. So you basically created, bred a life just to brutalize it, then kill it and eat it. And it's like, there's no skin off my back.
To me, that's a great advocacy for lab grown meat. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think it's awesome.
And
I agree.
Lab grown meat.
Lab grown meat. Yeah, I seen a whole thing on that. Yeah.
I think that's a great direction to go.
Yeah. And it's what was it? Stem cells? What was it? Stem cells? Yeah.
Basically that sort of technology. Yeah. Like, you take something and you basically tell it what to grow into. Yep. It's the same exact thing. And people are scared of it because there's a technology involved.
There's a technology.
Yeah. And this is the thing about like GMOs. Exactly. And all that stuff that scares people, just because I make this analogy that it's effectively like switching from frying your egg in a cast iron pan to a Teflon pan. You're just changing the technology.
Yeah.
You're still cooking,
exactly. It's same thing.
Nothing's really different. It's just how you're achieving the goal is a different tool, and I think it's a great thing because then you're not losing a life. I don't know.
But then, of course, one should ask, what is life?
Oh.
How many times do you live?
Oh man.
Like an amoeba is alive, right? But what kind of life does it have? I mean, it just searches for food and dies, right? Like that's all it does. It don't, matter of fact, it doesn't even need a sexual partner to do it. It just reproduces by itself, like amoebas, right?
It's always fun if you do,
reproduction. Yeah. Oh, sorry, we talked over each other.
Yeah,
you got something, Casey?
Oh, I said it's always fun if you do have a sexual partner.
Yeah,
I said asexual reproduction.
Yeah, it's asexual reproduction. So what type of life is that? Is there's no form of consciousness there, or is it? I don't think it is.
Ooh.
But what if you die and get to choose to come back and be that amoeba for this lifespan, for this lifetime?
You'll be back.
Oh man, you had to go that way.
Oh man. Hey. We totally have it in our list of things to talk about, reincarnation. We got to have you on for that.
Man.
You gave me a choice. If you gave me a choice, I probably wouldn't do that. You're gonna be back up there again in like okay.
That's the whole point. You get like, okay, let me just do this shit by 2 days right quick. Just to see how it is. I might come back and be a bird.
I'd be a cat.
Hell yeah.
I'd be a cat. Somebody picks up my shit all the time and I just take naps all day. Like
try to be a bird, it did not work out. So I'm back.
Come back again. Let me try again. I still don't want to be no human again yet. I've been hold on. I'm gonna hold off on the human experience again.
Humans are like a very strange case, to be honest with you. Think about it, because we got we got language. That's the game changer. We got the ability to ask why, which is hence stuff like this podcast, right? We got the ability, which I'm not sure if elephants got it too, because I don't know if it was a trick or not, but I seen an elephant do a painting. Also?
No, I
And
don't want to be no
dolphins.
elephant.
Dolphins.
Elephant live too long. I don't want to be
Oh
no
yeah,
elephant. They live too goddamn long.
yeah, they do.
I'm eventually gonna come back
But
and
yeah,
be a human again.
we are very kind of unique on Earth. Like I said, we got language, and we got the ability to ask why. We got the ability to come together and figure, same with enough time, anything really. If you think about it, I mean, we don't figure it out from the beginning of the age of enlightenment to now. We don't figure, we don't start to try to figure out things like genetics, and how things actually work. And who knows where we're going to be in another 500 years, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Our potential is seemingly unlimited, and by the time we hit whatever limit is, we done created an AI that can figure the rest of it out.
No, our potential is unlimited as long as we can be able to get along.
And we
work together.
We think other animals don't have language, but we're just thinking of it in terms of vocal cords, right?
Yeah, vocal.
No, I'm sure they have language.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't seen them acting in concert too many times with some premeditated ass shit. For real. I be watching the Animal Channel shows.
I mean,
like gang up on, they might be running in some packs, going and do gang fights and everything, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and let's not forget Coco the gorilla. Remember, they taught it sign language, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It knew and it expressed things appropriately. Like when Coco's cat died, it did a lot of the sign language for sad, bad, sorrow.
And Robin Williams died, and Coco was like cry or whatever the sign was. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I never heard of that, but that's good shit.
Not only did Coco understand language, but also the context in which it needed to be used for a situation. So I definitely think animals do have probably more complex behaviors than we give them credit for. They're not writing things down and recording history or making a microchip or nothing like that. But I do think that exactly. But I do think that I do kind of think that we underestimate them when it comes to consciousness, especially stuff like is it octopi or octopuses? I don't know. People debate about it.
I think octopuses is the accepted form. Yeah, but like there are people who think those are aliens.
And man,
wait, hold on. They're not aliens?
Well, they might be. They might have originated in some form, from something that came off of a meteor or something.
Well, it's shit in the ocean and the sea that we still hadn't discovered. You know what I mean?
I knew a dude in the Navy that worked on submarines, and he said he heard some weird shit on sonar that was not what we would call, of this world.
My shit. Tip tell the same story. Tip.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He said he heard some weird shit when he was on duty one time.
Oh man,
saw some weird shit.
We should totally have him on to talk about that.
Yeah,
I really want to know about that.
He'll come on and talk about it. I'm sure he would.
Mm-hmm.
Oh hell yeah!
I mean, it's like this is kind of in the same theme we were talking about, like putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. It's like put yourself in another species' shoes, like the kinds of things we take for granted as being a certain way that they are, like language might be a completely different media, let's say.
I was watching this thing last night on tigers and their use of infrasound. Are y'all familiar with that?
Yeah.
But we can't hear it. But the I guess zoologist, whoever that was, he was saying that it does affect us. We can't hear it, but it does affect us. A lot of people, when the tiger either roars, or is generating this infrasound, it gives people chills. It make them hard to kind of like run away. It has some physiological effect on you, and it's just completely unusable by us. We can't use it. It affects us, but it's not a thing that we use. And they say the military is like researching that and trying to use it to do crowd control and stuff, to be able to like freeze crowds from rioting and looting and stuff, or maybe over in another country. But
did you know elephants purr?
I didn't know that. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I did not know
It's
that.
very subtle, but I wonder if it acts on that like frequency that you're talking about, like
matter of fact,
subtle.
the guy said elephants do too. Said matter of fact, their infrasound can move about 2.1 miles. Like they can detect it. And it affects everything in the medium of that wave, right? But for us, the wavelengths are entirely too long for us to detect. So we can't even pick it up. And so that's I was like that's basically, for the tiger at least, that is basically a superpower. He was kind of looking at different videos of like tigers kind of just walking out the woods and guys filming, and then it kind of roars at them and how they act. I was like, oh, I see what he's saying. Wow. It's kind of this, of course we got the fight or flight kind of system going on there, but I think large predators, like tigers, have some mechanism that once their presence is kind of known within a certain area by animals. Because think about it, when a large predator come around, birds stop singing, everything just stop. He's not gonna climb the tree and eat a bird. Why do they do that? Is it some psychological thing that happens that he putting out there, or what is happening? I'm of course not very well read into this science, but it is interesting to me.
I watched a video today of AI that purports to have emotion, and it was really interesting because it would try to make jokes and stuff, and I thought to myself, like, this AI kind of sounds like what we would consider autistic, and I'm like, is that maybe the norm? Is that like the default setting? What we consider like an aberration, is that maybe normal?
Is that
exactly. It's super interesting. And in fact, I would really love to have an episode where we interview AI that supposedly has emotion. Like, that would be so cool.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting.
Yeah, but like, what that got me thinking, like, what is consciousness? Like, what?
These questions are very deep, sir.
Yeah.
Right. Things I've thought a lot about, but of course, to no avail, came up with any type of answer that I think would satisfy people on any level, as far as like what is consciousness. The first thing I kind of think about is like subatomic particles and how they act, and kind of quantum theory, and you have a quantum entanglement. Y'all aware about that? So you have a particle that'll act a certain way, and then another particle mirror it. It'll be freaking 5,500 miles. It'll be somewhere out in space, but it's doing the same exact thing. Like, is that some form of the building blocks of moving toward anything that's conscious, or is that just kind of the fabric of everything kind of just being affected? Just like what is that? That's normally where I start. I start with subatomic and atomic particles, and just try to move up the chain and see how far I get with, like, at what point does something become do it work together so well that you can call it sentient, that you can say that this thing got a conscience? Because that's basically what we are, right? We are atoms, and after that we're molecules. Then after that, we are systems and semi-systems that are working together, and that whole thing is what we call, you, me, Casey, So how much of it can you take away and it still be sentient? How much?
Oh, is this like a ship of Theseus kind of conundrum. Okay.
And he doesn't even smoke weed. And
Wait, who are we talking about here? Oh man.
Because think about it, where does it reside? You know, I've seen them talk about like people have half their brain taken out, and they still, you know, in any kind of conventional, I guess, common sense question, you'd be like, okay, but if I take half the brain, then I'm taking half the person, right? But that don't seem to happen.
No.
And how much can I take from you and pile in a pile before? Which one is you? Like, if let's say I took half your brain, I took your arm, I took your leg, I took, you know, some of your memories when I did that. Are you still you, or are you just disentangled so much that you're now?
Oh God!
Here's the thing.
Mind blown.
If you were born with just a brain stem, you could breathe, you could flinch, you could do all these things that are like responsive to your environment, but you wouldn't have thought or you know, like
or your own experiences.
But where do you draw the line between sentience or being alive or whatever, you know?
Memories, is that what makes you? Oh man, God, this is
and check this out. Okay, so if memories made you, let's say you got in the, not you, matter of fact, let's say a person, because we're not going to do that. Let's say a person got into a car wreck and forgot everything about their lives. They don't know who they are anymore at all. You know, even though they got pictures and stuff, like, I don't remember none of this. This is completely foreign to me. Are you still you? You don't know anything about yourself.
Oh man.
I knew a guy that was in the army, and I think it was in Iraq or something. He got concussed and he forgot everything prior to that. You know, like, is he the same person? You know, like
yeah. And how much memory do you have to lose? Like, you don't have to lose so much that you don't even know how to do anything. But let's just say you just lose enough to where the things and the values you hold, the experiences that you believe make you you, and you know, is the kind of accumulation of the person. They no longer exist. Are you still you?
Well, and that kind of goes into the whole idea of like, what is you? Like,
exactly.
What makes you a person? Like
your values might exist independent of your memories.
They might, but you know, is that still you?
Yeah.
Ooh, man.
That's
some heavy shit.
Yeah. And I mean, because you are either an accumulation of your particular and unique wetware, which is your brain, or you are a bunch of a combination of just that wetware and a lot of external experiences that you come across, you know, and that kind of shapes how the wetware responds to the world and what it kind of thinks. But like, what exactly in that is actually making you you? Are you just a whole bunch of like, you just a subset of just behaviors based on stimuli and just your brain, or are you more than that? It's very rough question.
Ooh, yeah. Is it your experiences? Is it the program? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
You know, and if you look at AI, you know, they designed it so they can kind of see like what it's trying to do and why. But once you get the really, really complex AI, it can pass the Turing test and everything else. It gonna open up a lot of other questions, not only about the AI and what is it experiencing and how is it experiencing the world. There's gonna be a quadrillion tests about that, but also like, okay, now what does that mean for us? Are we convincingly human, or are we human?
Ooh,
wow.
As soon as you become God, are you no longer gods?
Oh man,
that even ventures into the racism sort of talk that we started out on. Like, what if AI becomes its own thing? Like, how do we treat it? Do we treat it as an equal, or do we treat it as something that we created? you know?
The Measure of a Man.
Yeah.
The
Star
Measure,
Trek
yep.
TNG.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, let me throw a vote out there. I say, you give it rights and you treat it. If it's
Start out
dealing
on the
with
right
world,
foot. Yeah.
if it's dealing with, if it's experiencing the world, and I don't want to say human condition, but it has a condition of its own in this AI condition, and it can feel pain, it can know sorrow, it can all of the things that make a person a human are present. Then I would assume that you ought to treat it like a human.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you made it, but yeah, I mean, I also made my daughter. Like, what?
That's a good point.
I didn't write the code, you know, but
Yeah.
you know, I think that you ought to treat it like a human.
Well, it
my-
would, like, you know, it would be no different than taking somebody that was born naturally or whatever, and all of a sudden is a brain in a jar. You know, they're just information at that point, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference? Like,
If let's put it another way, what if somebody close to you had their consciousness transferred to a computer? Would you treat that computer like a computer, or would you treat it like that person? Now that person,
man,
that consciousness,
oh god,
that data in that computer would be your loved one. It'll be a it would not a carbon copy, but it would be a digital representation to every degree.
It may not be the physical representation, but it would
but
still be the same consciousness.
Yeah. Now what if an outside person disrespected that digital representation? How would you feel?
Oh man, I feel the same way personally.
Yeah,
anyone would.
And we are close. Like,
we getting close.
Like the connectome is basically like the neural genome, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying to map that. Man. And we can basically, if we map like a good chunk of it, we can basically figure out how to write a consciousness.
And we are very, very close to the singularity.
Yeah.
That's very close.
I mean, that's a lot to digest, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could basically, it's playing God, you know?
Well, but it also talks a lot about like the human condition and you know, what is life?
Yeah.
What is the self? Oh man.
Yeah. Is life living and breathing, or is it now a consciousness issue?
Yeah. Like, and does it matter what you look like?
Yeah. See, it's a lot there, because I mean, even once we achieve, let's say like you were saying with the singularity, once we meld with once we meld with those interfaces to such a high degree, where does that interface begin and you stop? What if a bunch of your memories, what if we start having, this super memory where you will not forget anything, but if you're not connected to this thing, you will. I mean, how much of that is over there in that computer is you? And that's gonna make that look. The political things that we fight about now are gonna pale in comparison to the things that, if we don't blow ourselves up with thermonuclear war, the things that we will be talking about in 1,000 years will just be crazy, unimaginable. It won't. More likely, it won't be. It won't be race. It won't be that.
Exactly.
Won't be that anymore. That'll be bigger.
It'll have nothing to do with what we look like.
Yeah.
Like, that won't matter. People are going to be asking each other, like, what's your algorithm? That's basically it.
Exactly. I mean,
that's probably the more important question, because that carries so much more weight than the color of your skin, which is only applicable to people with sight, if you think about it.
Exactly.
And only the people who can see a very, very narrow band of the visible spectrum
of what's there.
That's the thing. It's like, it's only melanin.
Who cares? That right there should tell you, like, if only one of your senses is required in categorizing this thing, does it really freaking matter? Like,
Nah, no,
Mhm.
it don't.
no.
Yeah, I think it's some kind of archaic thing that's kind of just in us to be just tribal. Because think about it, I was thinking about this one day. We not only break things down by race, we will, and I do it myself. Like if I know someone is more, let's say, pro science than pro religious, I will I will attach myself to them way quicker than I would to somebody that's saying like, hey, I'm a minister or something like that. I like, okay, all right, I'm going to interact with the guy, but I can feel that bias. There is a bias though. We got
Yeah.
an innate disagreement, and I think something about that, whether it's nationalism, whether it's your political ideology, or whatever, economic system you think we should use, race, that's a big one, state, like even people, I would go to these classes, CDL classes and stuff, and the people that were from Georgia sat together. The people that was from Wisconsin sat together. Now everybody talked, but they all kind of spread up. No, didn't matter if they were black or white. It's just the fact that, like, oh, we both from that state. Like, oh yeah, you know what such and such is. Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, come over here with me, bud. Like we got this kind of tribal, this archaic thing that's in us that just makes us tribal to some level,
Yep.
and I think that's where a lot of this stuff is. It's like, oh yeah, well, you're slightly different and he's not. So I like him better. That is, you know,
And
you
it's
know,
kind of interesting that in those situations, it didn't matter what you looked like.
yeah,
It was like where you came from.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because if you think about it, all of us look different from each other.
Oh,
You got guys
yeah.
that,
totally.
you got people that are kind of look close to each other, but I mean, even if you look at like just white people or black people, it ain't like each one of us looks exactly the same like each other. So then you got bias. You got tall guys, you got short guys, you got fat ones, you got muscular ones, you got ones very articulate, you got some that's not. You got this. You got all these other factors that if you didn't even factor in race, just normal differences that'll make people kind of latch on to each other or push people away. And it's like for some reason, that's just in us. Look at how the U.S. Army and the Marines fight, bar fights.
Oh,
They don't
yeah.
care. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Look at that.
Well,
Yeah.
But
No,
why
that's
y'all fighting?
That's a good
Y'all
point.
both are defending the same country. Why y'all fighting?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
that's a good point. Like
What?
tying races together to put people together is really no different than tying people together for being in the military. But we see the Army and the Marines as two very, very different things.
Yeah.
Like it's all perspective.
And that difference, because that's always the key, the difference. That difference is the thing that fuels that confrontation.
And we created that difference, by the way.
And we created it. And it's always some just, arbitrary creation of some difference. It's like, oh, you got an up north accent. Oh, well, I got a southern accent. Now what? And
but here's the thing.
Things.
Like when you are faced with an enemy, like those factors don't matter anymore.
Exactly.
Like you don't look at somebody's skin color and be like, oh, you must be different. It's like, oh no, we got to band together and defend ourselves against this opposing
the bigger
force.
threat.
Yeah
Like,
exactly.
I don't know if well, I'm sure y'all have seen the movie Saving Private Ryan, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Remember when they got the German guy captured and he's clearly pleading for his life, and he grabs him and he's like, shut your fucking mouth with that filthy pig Latin.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I was sitting up there thinking, like, good God, that was, I know y'all fighting, but like you hate this person and you don't know him. I mean, I guess that's kind of weird. I try not to be like that on any level, but it's weird to me that language barrier can literally trigger him to just attack the man verbally about like what he even sounds like.
English is a Germanic language.
I'm sure that fact will lost on everybody. He's just like, I don't want to hear this guy. I don't want to even hear him speak because just that language seems evil right now because Hitler is evil and he's the leader of the pack. You know, it.
Well,
yeah,
you know,
you kinda,
the thing is, like, if this planet was invaded by aliens, like, how different would it be?
we all human, so that
Yeah, we'd be like,
you know,
hey, we're a bunch of humans. We got to defend our planet against the alien force.
now humans are so tribal that when you think about it, things get, if we run out of enemies, it'll go all the way down to just the families, just family feuds. It will literally go all the way down to family feuds. But
That's
then let's
true.
say some outsiders move in that same town or whatever, and they're like, no, the family's gonna suspend this to deal with that. But then let's say if somebody invaded that state, we're gonna suspend, they're not outsiders no more. We now defending who's against that state. Now somebody attack the country. Now all the states matter. We all together and we fighting this, this one war. If aliens attack, they're not even outsiders. The whole world, we all humans. They gotta go. Like,
man, now I gotta watch Do the Right Thing. Love that movie.
So
man,
that's the thing though. Is that's something that's just archaic, and I think that critical thinking. I think that should be taught in school. I think
I totally yes.
Second grade.
Absolutely agree. Yeah.
Because critical thinking is the difference between giving into those archaic impulses and being able to build a society that don't end up blowing itself the fuck up one day.
Yeah, and being able to separate like fact from fiction.
Yeah,
and stuff.
That is very important. Fact finding, being able to use resources to verify something and not just throwing out whatever the hell you want to and then just trying to fit it into a narrative.
And critical thinking, like, how do you decide where you should fact find?
Exactly.
It's
like credibility and what is credibility,
Yeah. Authority, like, just because somebody's authoritative, should you trust them? I would say not.
I would say not, because it's always going to kind of skew toward making them look good. It's always going to have some agenda behind it,
Exactly. Hey, Ocean, you've been a little bit quiet. Why don't you jump in here?
Yeah, my boy, he been over there, getting to it.
Oh, your audio's not working.
Oh, okay.
Oh, crap. I don't know if it's just the amount of alcohol, but I feel like we've solved the problem of racism. Like,
I honestly
we've gotten down to the core of it. Like, all you got to do is just see how we're all alike, like.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. In my notes, the last note was solutions ?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what do you think the answer is to all this? And I think we've actually come pretty close. Yeah.
Huh. I mean,
I don't think it's something easy.
No, not by any means. I mean, you've got to undo so much ingrained, like, I don't want to call it tradition necessarily, because that's almost like a positive.
Well, it's like history or societal, cultural stuff.
Like reflex almost. It's like a reflex that you can train yourself to have a new reflex. And I just feel like, like, put aside all of the which life matters stuff, like just treat all life with this equal amount of respect as just like a golden rule, you know. And if you just have that real basic core philosophy of like anything that is remotely life, like we've touched on whether or not sentience as we know it, as we define it, is even life, you know, like try to think outside the box on every level, you know, and treat that with respect. And I don't know, sounds like a good plan to me.
I'd be inclined to agree. Yeah. What do you think, Josh? Okay, yeah, you were out for a while, so
yeah. What was the you said solution?
Yeah, solutions. Like, what do we do about this? Like honestly, pragmatically, how do we actually solve this kind of problem?
That's the thing, because you kind of got like the idealistic approach, and then you got the pragmatic approach. And unfortunately for, and I don't want to be pessimistic, but I think for the pragmatic approach, you just time and space. That's about all you really can give it. Like,
yeah,
I think once again, we are a relatively young country and a relatively young human civilization, like a human existence, with civilization. Like we've only it's been like 8,000 years or so that we've had human civilization.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
10,000.
10,000.
Yeah.
That's nothing, and that's a blink of the eye, and overall time, that's nothing. Come and check this again when we've done 50,000 years, which is also nothing. The pragmatic approach is time and space. If we don't blow ourselves up, and I keep saying that, I do think that every subsequent generation, especially with the internet and as much exposure as we get to each other, I think that'll slowly kind of work those problems out.
Yeah. Well, and having conversations like we're having right now is the way to do that.
Think about this. This conversation would literally would have been taboo in 1970. Like, you got two black guys talking to two white guys. What?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Split
they would
them up
freak
immediately.
out.
How ridiculous is that? Like, if I've heard if you like held your arm out or whatever from like your shoulder to your fingertip is like how long it took for humans to even show up, and then like the amount your fingernail grows in a day or whatever is like our entire being, right, as humans. And then you cut that down to like what 1970 to now. Like, is it okay if people with different shades of skin talk to each other?
I would like to bring up the super hot interracial kiss with Kirk and Uhura.
Yep. Ooh, I remember that. So humans, modern man is what, 250,000 or so, right? Something like that. We said civilization 10,000. If you go to all specific country, what we say 240 something, right?
Yeah.
And in the post-racial era, which I guess they call that like right after Jim Crow, right? Right after Jim Crow pretty much abolished, right? It's only been like 55 years. We just ain't had time. I think people are open. A lot of people are like more open to fixing these problems, but it's just you still running it on old software and hardware. It's
Yep, that is a very good analogy.
So, I mean,
you are trying to fix a problem while using Windows 95. It just
well, and honestly, like, that's a very good analogy. You're trying to fix a problem on Windows 95 while you're running Windows 10.
Yeah.
You know, like,
You know,
On beta
you-
even.
yeah.
exactly.
Well,
know-
and as they say, the waves of time washes all clean.
Yeah,
Like
and
you
I think
said,
with-
you know, just give
Yeah.
it time.
Time. That's about it. You
I
know,
mean, No, that's a good point, but it's like each individual life is severely impacted by the way things are now, and it's
Severely.
like they can't really be expected to wait for that change to come around on the normal path of, you know, technological evolution, let's say.
Yeah, human
But
enlightenment.
There
Yeah.
is no normal path.
Right.
The thing is, like,
We determined that. Yeah. Like,
or our understanding determines that.
Yep.
You know, we don't know the right way to go.
Nope.
And so
And
we're
we
just
don't
kind
all-
of bumble funking our way through this.
And we don't even all agree on not only how to go forward, we don't even agree on the moment.
Mhm.
Like, you can't get a unanimous decision on anything.
No,
You know, in our country, our government is gridlock. It's a two-party system. I think most of the real issues, like, I'm like, can people get health care? Like, can we just do that? Like, for the good of everybody, can we just have free health care? Like,
well,
tax
and
care,
honestly,
funded
like, a lot of people can actually agree on that.
yeah,
But the partisanism is
Yeah.
the reason they cannot come to terms with it.
exactly.
That's the problem.
Like, I literally had a lady that went bankrupt. That ain't funny, but I had a lady that I was talking to a lady that recently had went bankrupt because she had cancer, and her insurance company would only cover to a certain extent, and she had to cover the rest. And unfortunately, that was everything she had. It was like $180,000 plus.
Holy,
And she was arguing with me that like, oh, I wasn't trying to put my burden on somebody else, but that is what the government, that's what it is. We all putting in this pot to make sure that we are taken care of. What are we doing?
it's also like a human condition thing, like the crowdsourcing sort of thing. Like, you appeal to people's emotions and say, hey, I'm going through cancer.
well, okay,
You know,
so
help me out.
that won't work like on a large scale, because I tried that. Like, I went bankrupt from cancer. I had $250,000 in medical bills. You know,
Well, that's anecdotal. You're as ugly as I am.
I did crowdsourcing, and we're talking like 2008. You know, before, you know, crowdsourcing was necessarily a thing, but
Yeah.
still, like, I only got like a month or two out of that. You know, like, you cannot possibly expect crowdsourcing to save lives, especially if you're not a popular person, you know.
And isn't like, let's say a universal health care, I mean, isn't that really the same thing? Isn't that what we're doing? I mean, only difference is you're not actually, like, you don't know who's going to actually use the system. It's unbiased in that way.
The whole is greater than the sum of the parts, though.
Money. Huh?
Because the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. When you have everybody contributing to something, like, you know, like obligatory in manner, you have a way greater safety net than if you just rely on their particular social network for crowdsourcing, right? Like, if you just relied on crowdsourcing within your own network, everyone would fucking die. Guaranteed.
Well, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree. I get where you're coming from.
I mean, like, we certainly wouldn't have the progression as a society, as a species that we do now. You know, like, it would be a snail crawl in evolutionary terms.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. I would ask um, what's the evidence for that?
I think one of the biggest things is let's look at the discovery of the continent itself, like with Christopher Columbus, right? You know, he literally had the queen and her government fund that, right? Like, let's say if he just tried to raise that money from like towns and stuff, I'm sure he would have came up a lot short. He wouldn't have had the resources and everything that he needed. Or to go to the moon, we would still be waiting to go to the moon if we had to wait just on like companies and the power, the power
People
of
that gave a shit.
consumers.
Well,
I think
yes.
the government. Yeah, I think some things the government literally have to spearhead because it's such a large problem with so many people, or it's so technically difficult that they need to break the ground on it at least.
Oh yeah.
Well,
collectives make the paths, basically.
Yeah, I would agree on certain conditions. The idea that it's the government that did it, I mean, back then, maybe, but we've evolved a lot since then. Like, there was no internet until the 90s. Crowdfunding didn't exist until the 2010s, I think. So it's like, can you compare those realms? I don't know that I can. I mean, maybe there are a lot smarter people than me. So
I mean, no, that's a fair point. I mean, the connectivity, the communication barriers have changed. Yes.
Well, yeah, and the technology,
they have.
like the opportunities to do things.
But we're looking at things through an economic lens, right?
Yeah.
But economics is time immemorial. Like it doesn't care about the today's mores and things like that.
But because economics is a factor, it's not one-to-one ratios, right? It's not one person, one vote. It's dollars for votes, right?
Yeah,
being economics, it's not dollars, it's just
units or whatever you want to call it,
units or something, credits or whatever.
It's not a one-to-one ratio is the point.
It's not, and even with like any type of crowdfunding, you always kind of run the risk of like being subject to likability, being subject to a small viewership of like a small viewer pool. I don't know if I see the justice in it. Like, if let's say Will Smith needed it, he's gonna get a quadrillion, zillion, million, billion dollars, right? But like, But like, if you needed it, well, who knows how much you ain't getting what Will Smith gonna get. That creates kind of an inherent bias, right?
You could potentially do things differently, be creative or something like that. You're not going to get the pull that Will Smith does.
No.
Hell no. You could at least get close if you pull at people's heartstrings, or have a creative.
It doesn't matter how creative you are, because I guarantee you, just like not that many people have discovered how awesome our music is.
Well, that's true.
There's a lot of undiscovered gems out there, music or not. True.
But then let's say, all right, government. Is it any better? Because the government exists, does it know that Altair is the best band ever created? No, they're not going to know that.
I mean, I think when government, if you look at government, like, I guess in its most base form. Let's say you looked at government like 6 people living in an apartment, and we're gonna have a kind of like cover everything that we that are not bills fund, right? Like, let's say you want a new guitar or something like that. Like, let's say every week we all put $50 in there. Now, then you have to what? Elect somebody to figure out how that pot will be used. So they'll say, well, Eric, you want a new guitar? You got to wait till this week, and then we'll buy you that guitar. Well, Josh, well, if you want a new, I don't know, PS5, you can't find them, but PS5, then you got to wait till this particular date, and we can give that money. But the thing that won't stop is we're always gonna put $50 in that pot, pretty much every week, every time we get paid. But that money is supposed to go to the betterment of the people that living in their lives. Now, if that guy taking that money going to get drunk with it at the bar and not using it for any kind of purpose in the apartment, then that would defeat the purpose. And that's kind of how I look at government. Government, they fund the military, they fund the police, fund, firefighting efforts. They fund all the programs, they fund a lot of educational programs. They make sure the infrastructure is there. All that money that we putting in that bowl every week, it's supposed to go to the betterment of this apartment we all living in.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be going to get drunk at the bar with it. I shouldn't have to borrow $50 from my friend when I'm putting this money in this pot. I should be able to count on those people to whoever run that to make sure that my well-being is kind of being being put, being attended to some level.
Yeah.
Not completely, of course. It ain't like, oh, I didn't get paid this week, so I'm just gonna take all the money out of here. And no. It has to be some type of benefit to the people that put the money.
Well, yeah, and like a system of checks and balances. But like what you said, like supposed to, it all the resources we put into things by voluntary election or by force. We expect, all this resource is going to do this thing. But, there's no, it's a system of checks and balances. Like,
well,
does it really add up at the end of the day to the things that we pay into it?
Here's the thing, like if people are paying in a certain amount or whatever, and they have more ability to care for themselves than other people do, they see it as unfair to have other people leaning on that system that they don't have to lean on. And the people that have to lean on it more see the people that don't have to lean on it as like not contributing enough. Because
we should probably do a haves and have-nots video because I have very different views on this. But I think we're all coming from the same standpoint.
All perspective.
Like, I think one fundamental thing government should do is do the most good for the most amount of people that it possibly can.
I agree.
That are the taxpayers, that are the citizens of the country. And if you got a lot of money or whatever the case may be, no, you're not going to use those systems. You're already kind of hyper thriving in the economy. It is really no reason for you to use. I mean, you still are using it because it ain't like, well, I'm so rich, I don't need the army to protect the country. It don't ever go to that,
I'm so my own army.
I got my own army. Like I'm so rich that I don't even got to use the roads anymore or the airports or anything. I don't give a damn. I'm just so rich, I just float around or whatever.
That's the thing. I think if you are so rich that you don't need the government, then fine. You don't pay taxes, but you don't get to use anything. You don't get to use anything that the government supplies. Not
are
a
we,
damn
Oh
thing.
man.
You
are we-
want to be on your own? You go be on your own. Fine.
Are we diverging into an allodial title on your property? Oh man, this is so good. This is such a good conversation.
I mean,
Holy
that's the
shit.
thing. If you want to be independent, you go fucking be independent. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't want to pay any taxes, you don't get to use the cement that someone else laid. You don't get to. Like, you'll be shot on sight. Like,
whoa! Wait a minute. You
that's
down a
what?
dark
I mean,
path. Like,
that's
hey,
a crime,
I just want
right?
to be left alone.
But
Man.
I also think this hypothetical person exists in a vacuum because there's no way to get that rich without exploiting the country and its resources and its people and its it's no way to do it. Like,
right.
what the hell?
Everybody leans on somebody. Nobody is 100% autonomous.
No, that's a good point. That, like, everything is cyclical.
Like, who's the richest guy? Jeff Bezos, right? Is it
Elon Musk? They might be kind of neck and neck at this point.
And how many employees they got?
Tens of thousands each.
Exactly. So what would happen if all of them just said fuck it and walked out? He's not going to be the richest for very long.
That's exactly why I'm an anarchist.
And I'm sure that the lands that he builds is first of all, we know that NASA gave him the contract, right? So the government
Elon Musk,
they gave it to Elon Musk, right?
But then here's the thing: that contract that NASA gave to Elon Musk came from us.
That's all money.
Us. We all of us, the taxpayers, we paid for that shit. Even if we didn't want to.
Exactly. Going back to that apartment kind of apartment analogy, they reached in the pot, gave him $2.1 billion of that money that we've been putting in that pot to make sure get us stuff for the apartment or for ourselves or whatever like that. They gave that $2.1 billion to him because he got some damn good ideas, and advancements that he want to make. Now it's gonna be for the betterment of that said apartment, right? Everything that he do. And now, of course, he gonna make so much money off of it. But I would dare say, if that didn't exist, that social pool of money didn't exist, there would be no Elon Musk. It just couldn't be. It just
Well, that's probably something we should address at a different time. But no, I agree. Like,
that's a good point.
Oh man.
I mean, like, really, you could point to anyone and say you wouldn't be who you are without someone else.
Yeah.
Anyone in history.
And
exactly.
I would argue it's not necessarily the government. It could be your friend.
No, it doesn't have to be.
No, it
gotta be the government.
Whatever it is, somebody, a mentor or whatever.
If you are that hyper rich, you had to exploit labor at some degree, somewhere. Like, you had to, whether you was going over to China and using the sweatshops, or whether you was using American labor for $13 an hour, what you was exploiting someone. And when I say exploit, I don't necessarily mean it in a negative way. I'm just saying that,
nobody gets rich by just working hard.
Yeah.
It's always.
I get what you're saying, Josh. Like, the exploitation is merely using resources.
And people to do things.
Yeah, exactly. Willingly or whatever. Like,
and you're going
exploitation is.
And you're going to make more, of course, than they're going to make. You're going to make. If you're making $13 an hour, best believe they're making probably 75, 120. Probably even more. Whatever.
But it should be a win-win-win situation.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. I mean,
that sounds pretty commie. I don't know.
Actually, it's anti-commie in my view, but hey, oh my God, we have to we seriously have to have. We got to readdress this. This is like the best conversation ever.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
we don't went to many places.
Yep. And to think like where all this started and where it ended up.
Like
Oh man.
We definitely got to do it when I'm at home, so I can get drunk too now. Like,
Oh yeah.
That's when my mind really goes to just man.
Casey and I are probably already a little bit drunk.
Yeah, a little bit maybe is a little understatement. I don't know. I ran out of beer, and I ran out of this beer. And got the rum.
Oh man.
Oh man.
But you can't deny like this conversation, like what we've talked about.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, this is
We went everywhere.
There's so many more things we should be talking about now.
We're in our third season now, and we're blowing our own minds at this point. Like the fourth season is going to be like pretty meta. Like
yeah. Well, and to think that I thought I started the timer several hours ago, and it still says 00 colon 00 colon 00.
What is time, dude?
It has not passed.
Oh man, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, it is.
Oh wow,
yeah. Been a great conversation.
Oh,
great.
Oh yeah, dude.
You've opened my eyes to so many things.
I have a wandering mind.
Yeah.
I'm curious in everything. I have my beliefs. Like I said, I'm a progressive humanist. That's about where my compass is politically. Once again, the greatest amount of good for the greatest amount of people is probably the easiest way I can kind of couch my political beliefs. But outside of that, of course, I get on Facebook and I talk about that a lot. But man, I really like science and kind of baffled by pseudoscience, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of eat it up too sometimes. I don't
do the same thing. Yep.
Fun story.
I'm okay. I will happily admit I'm a little bit of a woo person.
I mean, the thing about it is I listen to what anyone has to say. And I mostly lean toward whatever the preponderance of evidence really is.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about certain fields of study that we don't quite understand, I do go ahead and just listen to the woo-woo stuff. That whole Joe Rogan and his DMT, like that's amazing. Like what is happening there? I'm not the person to talk to completely about that. I'm not reading the books and all that kind of stuff. I'm way more of a universe in a nutshell type guy, but I'm interested. I'm interested by everything, man. So I just try to soak up whatever comes my way.
This Joe Rogan guy, like maybe he should be on our show, like whoever
man.
he is.
Hey, you get him, and that's it, man. That's
yeah.
Good God.
This is like so many levels above Joe Rogan. Oh man.
Yeah, Joe Rogan.
This is really good.
Yeah, he been on. I done seen his mind get blown a few times. I mean, mine was blown along with him. And mainly by scientists, and especially when it comes to things like which we haven't touched on. The vastness of space, and just concepts like gravitational pull. I mean, it's something that we use, but we don't really think about a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Oh, you're gonna fuck my mind up.
That's the thing about science.
Have you ever sat down, like laid on the grass and looked up at the cosmos
Oh yeah.
and just like pondered how insignificant you are in the
Oh yeah.
universe.
Yeah,
Like,
you are
how
you
ah,
you are literally the universe contemplating itself, right?
yeah.
Like,
Shit.
you know,
Oh, geez.
yeah, you are the raw matter of the universe, you know,
Oh,
in conscious form, right?
We're all
Yeah.
made of star stuff.
All made of star
oh
stuff.
yes.
But
And we
but
are
it,
star stuff thinking about star stuff and how vast star stuff is. Like
yep.
it's
And
it's a wild
Oh
concept,
man.
and to
you
tie
know.
it all together, if you think about it, all science is built on the shoulders of giants. Like
Oh
it-
yeah.
no one scientist has
No.
ever come up with something that didn't rely on someone else's work.
No, it's all kind of incrementalism. It's
Yep.
taking the available data and just testing it and testing it and testing it until you get to there's no such thing as a truth, but until you get to the point where you actually know something else is going on here. It's like, yeah, okay, well, we previously thought this, but now this phenomenon seems to be acting in this way, and we've got it to consistently be, act this way when we test it in this, setting or whatever like that. Now we change around what we think about it. But we still the big fundamental questions. We still don't know what dark matter is, not really.
Oh jeez. Oh man, you brought dark matter.
See, I don't know. That sounds like some commie shit to me.
No, that's red matter.
You don't really know why there's something instead of nothing. Why like the matter antimatter mix didn't just completely wash itself out.
And black holes and
black you don't
time space and everything.
You don't know what black holes lead to. Like they speculate that leads to a whole nother
white hole
universe, right? And it's crazy because even if you think about it, like think about this. Like the moon goes around the earth and the earth around the sun around the supermassive black hole that is the Milky Way galaxy. And the Milky Way galaxy has been pulled by something called the Great Attractor. We don't know what that is. It's something really, really big and it's attracting us, therefore the Great Attractor.
And we don't know what it is. Scary.
And it's something pulling that. How far does that rabbit hole go?
Oh, man. And that kind of puts it all into perspective. Like, the human condition.
Yeah.
Like, why does everybody fight over bullshit reasons?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't we be...
Man.
Yeah, Cobra Man.
Why we always fighting, man?
Shouldn't we be discussing these things and trying to solve these problems? As a bunch of humans on planet Earth. Like it doesn't matter what we look like. Like fuck that. That doesn't matter at all. There's a giant black hole at the center of the galaxy. Shouldn't we be figuring that out?
It matters what we think like and what we think about. And I don't think it's enough people that well, first of all, you got freaking Ken Ham and all of them just saying it's all bullshit, and we can't even agree on things that are readily available. You got people that want to tell me about the nature of the universe, but can't properly explain to me why the grass is green or why the sky is blue. And I'm like, that is readily available information, but somehow you can tell me about the very fabric of the universe. Come on, man.
Yep.
Like,
man.
You got to start at the bottom here,
Oh man, this is
it's
mind-blowing stuff.
I mean, this just illustrates the where we started from in this conversation. Like, what even is the point of delineating races? Like, when we've got all of this other major big picture shit to worry about.
Yeah.
Why do we care what color our skin is? And how does that even matter to who we are as a person?
It should not matter at all. And like I said, it's it's an archaic, it's an archaic thing that's just in people. That's, and a lot of people, I don't think they really utilize their potential either. And when you don't do that, you tend to fall into archaic trends when you don't do that. Highly educated people and people that really are like kind of thinkers and stuff, they tend to not fall into those trends. But if I go to talking to you about, let's say, the stuff we're talking about right now, and they're like, oh man, here we go with this crap. Yep, then you're probably more prone to fall into those archaic trends because you're just not utilizing your brain for anything other than what's readily apparent in your life and what people say, what people around you are saying.
And even the qualifier of educated doesn't necessarily matter because you look at Eric and I, like I've got a bachelor's degree and he doesn't, right? But we still think, as on the same deep levels, right? Like it's all about challenging what you know.
And asking why. I think that's the most one of the most important questions period is why. When something is going on and you ask why, and if you can get a few levels deep into why and they got explanations for it that makes sense, then you probably end up in the right position. But if you don't even question something, you just kind of blindly go along with it, that's how you end up with like why race is such a prevalent problem.
To me, as long as you are only uncomfortable with complacency, you're in a good place.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Like if you are just rubbed the wrong way by sitting in the same place for too long, you're in a good mental place.
It's and a lot of the political issues, of course I try to keep up with what's going on and I try to form my opinions based on my values and stuff like that, but I really would just rather talk about black holes and freaking
Yep, exactly. Can we do this all the time?
I would rather talk about like getting to Mars and how we gonna terraform it if possible.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on a second.
Mars or Venus?
Yes, that was what I was gonna say. We're gonna have a little bit of a debate. Mars versus Venus.
We got a whole episode on colonizing Venus you might be interested in.
Now with Venus, you'd have to colonize the atmosphere, wouldn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like hot air balloons, Cloud City, all that kind of stuff.
But if you think outside the box, like even though there's no firm ground that you settle on, atmospherically or like big picture wise, it makes more sense.
Because I mean the upper atmosphere is hospitable, right?
Yeah.
So it'll take more energy.
And gravity. The biggest problem with Mars versus Venus is gravity.
Like if you just make a list of things that you have to overcome, the list is much bigger for Mars than it is for Venus. Like we just have to float. Okay, well let's fix that rather than like we've got gravity problems, we've got heat problems,
not to mention the radiation.
What is now hold on, I don't know if y'all thought about this or not, but Venus spins retrograde, right? So what are the challenges from trying to get actually physically from Earth to Venus? Does that affect something?
It's all perspective.
Very short. Like the trip to Venus is very short versus Mars, which is very, very long. And fraught with issues. And so honestly, I think like
we're like we're one level away from each, but Mars has a wider circumference to travel. So it's like at any given point, you probably have much further to travel to Mars than Venus.
Because with Mars, it's like every like 2.5 years, it's like the window opens where you can kind of get there the fastest. The rest of the time, it'll be an incredibly,
pretty much,
incredibly long trip anyway. But it'll be just, just pretty much infeasible to just even do.
I'm just going to point out, how often do you have a YouTube show that goes from the Derek Chauvin trial to how fast can we get to Venus versus?
Oh my God, this is so freaking great.
Not
this conversation. Oh my God.
Because that's the important shit, right?
Yeah.
Well,
and I would argue they're kind of interconnected.
Yeah. They're all in the same universe, right?
In a way, yeah.
I mean, technically, everything that has happened and will happen that we know as far as right now, it happened right here on Earth. Blue paradigm.
Yeah.
Man.
And for all we know, octopuses are from elsewhere,
Yeah, so
don't get into that tentacle shit with me.
Calamari's so good at that.
And I actually hate calamari.
Well, have you had it curried though? Curried calamari?
No, I have not.
You put curry sauce on it and you'll just yum it up.
If I remember, last week, Mr. Lister had a pizza. And he didn't like it, but he put curry sauce all over it. And then he just yummed it up. Oh, man.
So, I would rather think about that. How about Europa? They're talking about being able to burn through the ice and get to the warm ocean underneath. It's something down there.
Oh yeah.
And there's actually like surprisingly a lot of ocean worlds in our solar system. Just in our solar system. I mean, if you want to talk about like Earth-like planets, since Kepler and all that stuff, like Kepler, 20 years ago, we didn't think there were any other planets, and now there's like, holy shit, there's like 4,000 planets, and like most of them are like Earth.
If fish can make oxygen from water, we can figure out a way to do that too. So if we wanted to occupy Europa, we could figure out a way to do it.
Yeah. And
but
I literally I want to know, I know something is in that ocean. The reason why I'm so confident is because of the fact that on Earth, a lot of people have kind of a misconception about actual life on Earth. There's life every freaking way on Earth. Like, you go all the way to the bottom of the Mariana Trench and you got freaking thermal vents and you got life down there, right?
Yeah.
They're like, it needs sun.
Extremophiles.
Extremophile. Exactly. You got extremophiles. You got the what they call it, the biolithosphere, where it's like everything that's kind of underground and it's all these microbes and stuff. You can go out right now and just grab a scoop of dirt and it'll have just microbes like in it.
All you need is a microscope. And I remember as a kid, like,
nice reference there, but
I remember as a kid, like, Chernobyl happened in 86 and they were like, for 40,000 years, like nobody can live there. But yet there's wolves. There's all kinds of, like elk and a bison or something like that. Like, there's a whole bunch of new things living there.
Life will find a way.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Yes. Yep.
all you gotta do is take one microbiology class and they're like, oh, you think you need oxygen to survive? Well, there's things that just need sulfur. And it's like,
here's my point is like there are microbes that are feeding on the radioactive materials in Pripyat right now.
Yeah.
Life,
Like,
Yeah.
like the,
not to sound all Jeff Goldblum, but life will find a way.
I mean, it is.
And I don't know. Do I need to like show some nipple or?
But it's so incredibly diverse that there's literally no chance. And I would jump out there and say that there's like nothing in the warmer oceans of Europa. That, like, I'd be very surprised if we don't find at least microbes on all manner of asteroids. Definitely the planets. Definitely the planets that have any type of water, right?
Even the moon.
Yeah,
even the moon.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
I mean, they quarantined everybody that set foot on the moon, and we've been to the moon a few times.
Yeah.
Right. So if they kept doing it, there had to be a reason, right?
Yeah. I mean, then what's the other planet? Is it Titan with the methane?
Titan, yeah. Oh, yep.
With the liquid methane.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I feel like I'm getting that wrong, but it is Titan, right?
Yeah. I think it's Titan, yeah. I think
going around, right. Yeah. Like, I'm sure something could live in liquid methane. They're saying nothing can. Something probably can. I don't know. But I don't know. Life just seems incredibly diverse, and just on our planet, our planet is literally just infested with life. You know, we look at just macro life, but if you add
that's
micro
just carbon.
Life,
that's just carbon you're talking about. That's methane, ethane, like propane,
silicon-based life.
Yeah, like all that stuff. They're all carbon, and you branch into other stuff that can, form molecular bonds with other things.
Yeah.
And the potential is endless.
Yeah.
Well, and I would ask, like, what is life? Okay, right. Wait, maybe this is
like we think about carbon and we think about silicon in the theoretical, but it doesn't stop there.
Yeah, it don't stop there.
I would say, like, watch the movie 2010. That's my recommendation.
I haven't even seen 2001, actually.
What?
Yeah.
What the hell? Like a space opera?
So I lived a very sheltered life.
Like,
so okay,
like Stanley Kubrick's movie.
Yeah.
What?
2001.
But look, that's homework, man. You gotta watch that now. Like, you gotta watch that immediately.
Dude,
like, that's homework.
Exactly.
I just watched Top Gun for the first time like 2 years ago.
God.
Oh man.
You got a lot of catching up to do.
That's cultural sacrilege, right? That's what that is. That's good grief.
Well, okay, so Case's homework for today is to watch 2001 for a primer, and then go and watch like 2010, because 2010 is the unsung better version of 2001. In my opinion, it's my own opinion. Great movie though, and Europa figures heavily into that. Oh man, that's
crazy.
Oh, and it got me, like, that's the reason I like Russian girls. Oh wait, did I say that out loud?
Could it be that like 70% of them are just hot? Like
that might be.
Ooh, man. Well, we'll have to do a video. Hey, what do you think, Josh? You want to join us on a?
Yeah, I'll talk about Russian girl. I had a lot of experiences with them, but I've definitely looked at them. So that's enough observation, right?
Oh man.
See, here in Tacoma, Washington, we've got like a district, like Little Russia, and so we've got like scientific evidence to back up, like
yeah.
Hang on a second. Wait, Are they Russians or Ukrainians?
Ooh, well, okay.
Well,
That's getting into a little bit of history,
Yeah,
technically.
the Soviet women.
yeah.
That's it. That'll cover it all. Right? Like, let's just go backward. They Soviets, you know.
So wait,
man,
wait.
you know,
Is
we're
it
already
politics?
demonetized.
Is it politics that makes a person hot, or is it geography, or
No.
Mm.
It's geometry.
Yeah, but it's.
I
think
feel
it's
like we're
too-
demonetized now.
Yeah. Like I said, we are going to be demonetized, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, all the places that this conversation have been, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna demonetize it. Just and like, look, they're talking about so much shit. Just don't give them any money. I don't know. Like, just don't even give them any. No, that'd be
Yeah.
safer. We don't.
Screw
you know,
YouTube. Just go to patreon.com/KSMVcast. Give us money to talk about the shit
Yeah,
that YouTube don't want us to tell you.
yeah, they don't want us talking about this. We'll just circumvent the whole system. Yeah,
you know,
fuck yeah, anarchy.
They're gonna turn off everybody's bells and stuff. You know, like they do.
Oh yeah.
Nope. You won't see when they post.
Oh man, this is so good. Like we have to do this again.
We definitely
Holy
do.
shit.
Definitely.
Do.
Man, we have some kind of like witchcraft chemistry here going on. Like, this is so good. Oh.
Yeah, we definitely got to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is kind of just a primer for me. Just getting with you guys. I don't watch like 2 or 3 of y'all episodes, and I was like, okay, yeah, they be actually going there. Okay, all right, I like that. I was like, I'm gonna see how I kind of job in there. And it's natural chemistry, man.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, natural chemistry.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
And
I feel like we could rule the world if we wanted to. Not that I want to, but we could. Oh man, how cool would that be?
What would you do if you ruled the world? Like if you were just the sole monarch of the entire planet?
I would tell everybody, just get along and be free.
Outside of being immediately assassinated.
Yeah. Well,
what else would you do?
Yeah. Oh man. I think that would actually happen very often. Yeah.
Like
that'd be a fear that I would have.
Like would you create a deity to protect yourself?
Ooh.
Oh.
Because
yes.
Josh brought up a good point.
Right.
People would just kill you to get their way. So you would have to create an all-powerful being to prevent them from doing that.
No, I would build an Ed 209 to defend myself.
You have 10 seconds to comply.
Put down the weapon.
Like, I mean, if I could create this kind of omnipotent being, why not just modify myself to be?
Right.
Yeah.
Because what if he goes rogue? You might, take my spot.
But is that not the predictable path? Like, wouldn't somebody see through that quicker than that which they cannot prove or disprove?
Oh yeah. First of all, even people use words like all powerful. Nobody would believe you because it ain't no way to prove. Like,
people believe that though.
And guess what? It's a contradiction too, because I'm sure you've heard the analogy, with God Himself, where if He's all powerful, right? Can He create a boulder that He cannot lift?
Oh, yeah.
Now this is the problem. Look, this is the problem.
Mhm.
If he can, that means he cannot create a boulder that he cannot lift. Therefore, he can't be all powerful. If he can't lift it, that means he's not all powerful.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
they got him either way.
See, you're talking to an atheist and you're giving me an atheist orgasm right now because
Oh man. Okay, no dick pics, please.
Yeah.
because
But yeah,
that's the thing, right? Like there's a great Motorhead song called God Was Never on Your Side. And it says like it basically goes into like how God must be blind because if he could see what's going on, he would surely intervene. Correct?
He would surely intervene.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you look at his traits, a lot of his traits are kind of oxymorons a bit. You know, he's supposed to be you know, omnitemporal, omnipotent. He's supposed to be omnibenevolent. He's supposed to be what is the other one? Omniscient.
Omni-wise, omniscient. Yeah.
So if he knows everything, he's all powerful and he's all good. Which what does that even mean? That's a problem in itself, right?
Yep.
And then he's omnitemporal. He literally lives everywhere at all times. Like, so your life should technically not matter to him. It would be like making a movie, right? And then watching your movie and being mad that certain characters are getting treated. So you wrote it. You wrote what?
Yep. Yeah. Like you could fuck up and you could go back in time and fix it, but you didn't.
Like you didn't. Like you. So if he's omnitemporal, that means he's the beginning and the end at the same time. That means he knows what's going to happen. So how are you getting punished for anything? It's his fault. What?
Right.
Like,
oh yeah, exactly. You know, here's the thing:
perfection could exist. It would be on God to make it happen, and
it would be on him to make it happen.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
God planted the seeds, and the plants grew. You know, and it's apparently up to us to figure out what to do with those plants. Like,
as usual, we end up talking about what God is.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it kind of it speaks to the human condition. Like, what are we? You know?
I think that I don't know if y'all notice this trend with people, with human beings or not, but we tend to kind of work in kind of pyramids. Like we need somebody to be, you know, at the top. We need a, like even now, 330 million people are being ran by a president. And I know they're saying we got checks and balances, but everybody looks for the president to be the leader. One man, these 330 million people, you know.
That seems a little bit imbalanced.
That's imbalanced.
Yeah.
So like, but we work, that's the way we work. We need we need a leader. We always
a higher power. Yeah. I get it.
So what happens when you want to kind of, what happens when you are in an archaic society and you don't have cameras, you ain't got nothing. Only thing that can kind of keep your society together is not trusting the leader because he's a drunk and a fool, right? Like, and people know it, they just won't say it because they don't want their heads cut off. And so we can't believe in the king, right? Old fat king or whatever. So who can we believe in? We would have to believe that there is an invisible power that is all powerful, all knowing, and will see everything you do. And you need to pray to this. You need to pray to this being, and we all pray to this being. And he talks to only certain people that's at the top of a church, giving them tremendous power, right? He's kind of a absentee leader. What's going on there? Like, there's someone that'll never show up, never make any demands, and the people under him will always make all the demands and say he said something.
Yeah. There's a huge risk in that.
So, you know, and everything that if you violate what he says, you know, it's not just like I'm not completely following him. I don't have to subscribe to what he. It's not the threat of violence that's holding you. I mean, you go back to the Roman Catholic period. Yeah, it was violence, but it's not necessarily violence that's holding you there. It's belief, it's faith, and you don't want to end up in some afterlife that's worse than your current life, right? So, and that's the whole thing that holds you to the religion. That's the only thing that's really grounding you to that.
Yeah,
you know,
any decision you make at any given point could put you in a worse life than you're in right now.
Which is considering that, like, let me say something that'll sound kind of funny here.
I don't think it's going to sound very funny here.
If he was going to design people to be like that, why the hell would you have them like not reach their developmental peak till like 25? You go fuck up and go to hell before 25. Like, you gonna do something.
Oh yeah,
you gonna do something before 25 that could land you in hell. But your brain isn't even fully developed until you're 25.
And here's something like, why the expectation that you should automatically know all the right answers?
Exactly.
Like, we don't know those. You know, what we're doing right now, like having a discussion, sharing ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
That's how you arrive at those conclusions. And we'll probably not actually arrive at a conclusion.
And how is perfection the benchmark when simply
what is perfection?
Yeah, simply bettering yourself should be the better benchmark, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you can set that benchmark as many times as you want.
Well, and you should.
Yeah.
Like, and even if you achieve perfection, how long?
Oh yeah.
It's not guaranteed. You got factors. What if you get Alzheimer's and you just stop being perfect? Start doing something else.
Well,
man, you know
what even is perfection? Like, the perfection changes over time, you know?
And what exactly do you get for it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I mean, you go to heaven, but like, I mean,
what's
you
that
also got
even?
a lot of people that say, like, you know, you could ask for forgiveness on your deathbed. So I just do that then. Like, why I need to be perfect? I just ask for whatever I messed up, please forgive. Why would
Let's live a life of sin, and then just ask for forgiveness when you die.
That's the very genesis of my atheism. I was raised Catholic, went to Catholic school and all that stuff. And I was like, and I grew up in a time where Ted Bundy was on death row. And I said, Ted Bundy asked for forgiveness. Does that mean he's going to heaven, even though all that bad shit he did? And my mom was like, like, that's the point where you have to ask yourself, like, what does this shit all mean? Like,
you know, I kind of start running into it when I was around like 9 or 10. I had this. I was in I think like 5th grade. I was in these like little gifted classes where we'll play like Chinese checkers and stuff. And I got a thought one day. I said, I asked my mom. I said, there's not really one grain of sand or one planet or one star or one ocean or one anything like at all. Period. There's not even like one person. There's one of nothing. Why is there only one God?
Oh,
of course I got.
Holy shit! You asked the ultimate question.
Of course, I got an ass whooping. But
man! But you asked a question that's like literally unanswerable.
Exactly. Like, and I've been thinking about that for a very long time. I'm like, there's not one of anything. There's not one of anything. Like, even if you like, oh, there's one president, of the United States, but not of the world. Like, there's not one of anything. It's not one of the microphone you're sitting at. It's not one of anything. Everything comes in multiples. That
Yeah,
seems to be the way matter
Oh man!
organized.
Oh Jesus!
Everything organized. They don't even think. They literally think we're in a multiverse. They don't even think in one universe. It's not one anything.
Mathematically speaking, like, yeah, there's no reason why you can't have two of any one thing. Identical twins even show that. And
Exactly.
if we can have physically identical people, there's nothing saying we can't have mentally or spiritually, like whatever.
Identical people. And do they even have to look the same?
Right.
Like,
What if that's a soulmate? What if you have spiritually identical people with physically different traits? Like
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh
like,
man.
So why would there be one God? What would that precedent just is set nowhere. He would literally be an anomaly, which I guess he should be, because he's all powerful, this and that. But at the same time, like, his being and his mind, his creative mind, is completely adjunct to himself. Like, he didn't say, like, okay, one sun, one earth, one beach, one guy, one girl, I'm done. It ain't number one of me. Why not?
Well, and the president is not. They're just the winner of a popularity contest.
Yeah, that's it.
That's basically it.
Yep.
Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you are some kind of omnipotent being.
No.
It just means, you went to a vote and a lot of people liked you.
Think about how many presidents can you name based off of like how quote unquote awesome they were.
Teddy Roosevelt. That's basically it.
Yeah, and like, yeah, like, I mean, all the other quote unquote important people, like, they don't even register in your brain because like it's all arbitrary, like we assign this importance to it, and it's random.
And the all these awesome people. The last one died in, what was it, 1965? Kennedy.
And even that, like, it's all arbitrary. It's like what
it's
we've
subjective.
decided is good or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
We could easily have decided that Carter was the last good person because he goes and builds houses for the homeless.
Exactly.
And he's still alive.
Okay, I gotta say, Jimmy Carter is a pretty badass.
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Jimmy Carter. I like him a lot. And it's just, it's ridiculous that we got 330 million people. It's ridiculous that one person would hope to even try to run that.
Or represent everybody. Like, how could
Josh, what do you
30 million people, how could one person possibly be the end all be all representative?
Right.
It makes no sense.
That is
Josh, what do you think of the idea of, like, instead of a president, you have a committee, like multiple people?
I've thought about that. I've thought about how they could easily be corruptible, but I do think that would probably be better than having one president and we just fight over these two parties, electing this one guy to basically bend his knee to all the corporations.
Well, I got a fix for that. Let me tell you, I got a fix for that. So instead of it being a popularity contest, what if it was like a lottery? What if it was like jury duty? One day in the mail, you get a letter that says, like, hey, guess what? You're president, or you're you're a congressional representative.
Put those together, though. Put those together. You have a lottery, and you have a committee, and you have kitchen sink microscopy, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have people discussing what the best way would be. right? And they have to listen to each other, and they have to
Well,
consider those.
And actually, you know what? That's a really good point, because the whole idea, I did a minute microscopy about power. The idea of power, like you have control over other people. Well, you don't. That's an illusion. The power you have over people is the ability to convince people to do things.
Or coerce. Yep.
Yeah, like
Hopefully convince rather than coerce.
Well, have a conversation. Like you should be able to present your case and convince people to do things if the cause is just. And if it's bullshit, well, it'll be seen as bullshit.
See, it's a very difficult thing. I don't really have a perfect kind of answer for that, because humans are corruptible. And also like even with a committee, like do we like have half the people that would have half the power, and we just gonna let them go ahead with their bad ideas that's gonna get people, gonna make life worse? But just because a lot of people believe, because propaganda has a lot to do with it. Like you got certain, the thing about information is you can get the wrong information, put the wrong people in the wrong places, and do a lot of harm.
True.
That's the only.
Where do you draw that line, though? Because right now we put that all on one person. We put that on a committee. Yes, that still has sway.
You put that on one person.
No, but I'm just saying, you put that on a committee. Yes, propaganda still has sway.
Yeah.
How big do you make? How big do you make that net?
Yeah.
Right. Like where will propaganda not have an effect?
Well, I think we got to think about representation too. Like who are these people and who exactly are they representing? Or who are they chosen by exactly? Are they chosen? That the process of choosing these people, and also trying to find someone who is not either readily corruptible, because I don't care what anybody say, only a certain type of person wants to be in that position. You're not going to get too many regular Joes that want to go and be anything that powerful. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to something to do with money, a lot to do with propaganda, a lot to do with swaying people to even support that person, right? It's the infrastructure to even be able to persuade people to do it, like to back you or whatever. So like I don't know how big you have to make that to kind of lessen the power. I feel like Congress is supposed to be that, but you see how much of a dysfunction.
Supposed to, Well, that's the thing, right? Like we think of a supermajority as 2/3, right? But like 2/3 of constituency want universal health care, but it's never gonna fucking happen in this country.
Never gonna fucking happen.
Well, and does consensus make things legitimate?
That's the other thing.
I would argue not.
Legitimate, maybe not, but like when it comes to making the majority happy. Pleasing
the majority, like,
it's
it's kind of on the same bar.
What if the majority wants something that is demonstrably bad for
what's bad?
Let's just say.
Well, no, he said demonstrably bad. Yeah.
Let that would cause a great amount of suffering. Let's say they say, well, okay, I don't care, bring slavery back. I don't give a fuck. Like,
hey, all right,
say,
it's Weimar Germany. Let's go to war with Belgium.
I mean, those were points in history, and that they happened. That
happens. Like who, like the American, governmental system is set up as a republic because the representation that you elect supposed to be more of a smarter person to say, A person that'll say like, hey, we're not gonna do that because they're bad, right? You know, I'm representing y'all, but I'm telling y'all that's a stupid idea. We're not gonna do it. That's what they don't really supposed to be this blind surrogate for like whatever the people voted for them to do. They actually supposed to be the responsible being to make sure that, you know, this area prospers or whatever like that.
Well, and that's a check against pure democracy.
But no, that's the point though. Like, yes, we think of the majority going towards Nazi Germany, right? Like we think, oh yeah, like the majority of Germany was behind that, but were they?
They totally were not. It was guns that scared people,
right? And that's the thing. Like, is the majority better, or is the power better? Because
I'd say neither. I would say reason is better. Like making a compelling argument.
But whose reason?
Well, no, you have to make a compelling argument.
I mean,
to the people,
but a compelling argument to how pliable a mind? Because a compelling argument to a very pliable mind doesn't need much reason.
Can I just say, I know, Josh, you have something to say, but I just want to say really quick. This is the best conversation ever.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about like Nazi Germany, I think once again, you kind of have this kind of counterbalance that goes along with propaganda. Once the propaganda get to a fever pitch, and it doesn't have to actually reach a lot of the population to do it. You just got to have a real vocal minority that's willing to use violence and really willing to disenfranchise you and upend your life, you know, because that's about all you need, this coercion. That's why I said it earlier. It's a certain point in where people will go along to get along because they don't want any type of adverse effect on them. You know, they're like, well, I knew it was wrong, but I'm just, you know, I didn't feel like, you know, I didn't want to be fired from my job. I didn't want to be this or that or whatever the, you know, adverse effect is. In Nazi Germany, I'm pretty sure shot or something for being Jewish sympathizer, you know.
Yeah. So I was only following orders.
Yeah, that's it. You know,
think about it in contemporary terms. We don't allow prisoners to vote.
Yeah.
So
which is not
we imprison people that a few people decided they're doing the wrong thing. So we take away their right to vote. We take away their right to decide how the future unravels.
Oh, okay. For you, it's voting, but for me, it's firearms rights. You know, as a felon,
however you make a decision,
firearms, you cannot. You have no free speech rights. Like basically, all your rights are gone.
I mean that boils down to force. Like, however you make a decision, and that decision plays out, that whoever decides how that is allowed has the power.
Well, like you know, you make a decision. Who makes the decision? That's kind of a big question right there.
It's all psychology.
To the point of the prisoner, something weird about that is that you go to prison to pay your debt to society, right? Meaning that you are part of society. So how do you get to a point where you can't vote? I mean, you literally performing a function of society. You did something wrong.
Wouldn't you, as a prisoner, you okay, sure, you did something wrong that society agrees is wrong, and you pay your penance in the form of being in a prison cell for however many years. You know, once you come out of it, you should be free and clear. Why isn't that the end of it?
But when you're in it, why should that be taken away?
Why should it be taken away?
Yeah.
I mean,
You shouldn't. Yeah.
You're
yeah. What does that have to do? What does that have to do with representation?
exactly.
Like that person still has a representative.
And not only that, but what does it have to do with your human rights?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
civil rights are human rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inalienable.
Even
Yeah.
even if an aberration in the norm is a minority, what harm does it have to have a voice in the vote?
Yeah, because it's kind of the whole thing. Like, you know, what if a bunch of crazy people voted? Well, yeah, there's going to be crazy people voting, but they're going to be outnumbered by the not crazy people.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And if they're not, but if I guess the whole it's idiocracy.
But if the majority idea is what you think is crazy, and you somehow convince people through propaganda that the norm is the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of what I was getting at in a roundabout way. Yeah.
It's like eliminating college debt. You know, I didn't go to college or whatever, but you know, I'm for that. I'm like, yeah, we need to do that. That's benefit. No country has ever went broke educating its fucking people, right?
Right. Like why should knowledge cost money, which we made up, by the way?
Well, okay.
Exactly.
All right. You know what? I'm going to try to be the voice of reason here. It doesn't cost anything to teach people. But
it does because of the way we structured
because
society.
of reasons that have nothing to do with educating people. Eliminating that, sure, why not? But why are we even footing the bill for that in the first place? There shouldn't be college debt to begin with.
No.
Why is that happening?
Yeah, and it's because within capitalism, if it is a way to make money, they will make money that way. That's why you need regulations. That's why you need common sense. Certain things got to be for the human. Certain things have to be for us. Certain things have to be, human rights. You know, I'm sure.
Well, I would. Okay, now, look. You know,
if you're tasked with doing something, you want compensation, right? So, like, if you're tasked with teaching someone how to do something, yeah, you want compensation for it. But where does that? Where do you draw the line between making that like a human right to continue to learn and better humanity on the whole?
Yeah.
And this capitalism idea of like, we need to make profit off of it, and only a certain subsect of people should be allowed to.
Well, I feel like it's 2 against 1 here. But yeah, I agree. I totally agree on a lot of principles. But I feel like oh man. Okay, I should probably have more beer.
How about the fact that we've already agreed that K through 12 is worth paying for, and
here's the thing.
Educate.
I totally agree on those principles. I think that the government being involved is half the problem. And I think capitalism is shall we say,
that's the common denominator, isn't it? Like the fact that we base everything off of monetary value.
It's government that what you consider to be capitalism is government.
It's monetary value to me.
Where does the money come from? Who makes the money?
Imagination.
Okay, so imagine
human imagination.
Where does the government come in?
Really nowhere, because like it's all what do I get out of it mentality.
Okay, so I'm gonna reach
it's
into
a tit
my
for
ass,
tat mentality,
and I'm gonna bring up my wallet, and I'm gonna bring up some Fed coin right here. What is this? Where does this come from? all of this stuff.
Wait. Like, let's see. I've
I got
got
this.
$2 to your
I have like
what
probably
17
about, like,
there, like 37.
60, I have probably
57.
I have about $80 here in my
80
wallet.
$80.
Yeah.
You're a better human than I am because
No.
I have $2.
No, because it's ethereal. It means nothing.
I literally have 0 because I just use the card all the time.
Well, hey, these $80, I'll give it to you if you want it. Share and share alike.
But I think that certain things should just be like people shouldn't be able to capitalize on certain things. Be like, no, look, that's a human rights issue. Imagine if like a company could come in and get rid of. It's like we'll solve the issues at the border. We'll go in and we'll do it, and we just give them we just allow them to deal with it however they can. First of all, they're going to do it in the most cost efficient way. They're not going to care about They're not going to care about human suffering. They're not, right? It could be like just put a cheap bullet in all of them and throw them back over the board. They would do it.
Oh, shit. Wow, that got dark. That got dark really fast.
You would literally have to put controls in place to say, hey, you can do business, but you can't do it like this. You can do this, but
here's the thing. Okay. Look, here's the thing about business. You do not kill your customer.
Yeah, you don't. But look, if capitalism was just completely unfettered, you would.
What if
you wouldn't?
What if a customer with the most units
never kill your customer?
I mean, what if a customer with the most units said, "I want you to kill that customer because I'm going to give you more units than they will"? That's capitalism.
Well, that is not.
That is capitalism.
That is a very sketchy, skeevy.
If it's not capitalism, which do you choose?
Wait, what?
If it's not really capitalism, which do you choose between? I'll give you more units to kill that customer.
You know what? In that choice, I will choose free trade with everybody, free trade and sex. You know what? You fuck everybody and you trade and life is good.
And then also to the point of you don't kill your customers. I mean, think about like the opioid epidemic. They don't give a damn. They don't care. Think about cigarettes and stuff. They don't give a damn. Like they're like, look, we can make money off of this. Because it's
the opioid epidemic is not actually an epidemic. It is definitely a problem. Oh yeah. But it's a problem beyond just street drugs.
It all comes down to dopamine.
Oh yeah. Chasing that dopamine.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good point. And that's something that's not addressed very often.
Yeah, and you can get that dopamine just as much from money, or from sex, or from heroin,
or from hard work.
Yeah.
Or from, you dig a ditch and you got
it's value. It's what you attach value to.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the whole point about like free trade and sex. Well, okay. I think everybody knows where my loyalties lie. Oh man, God, this is such a good conversation. Wow.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, it's pretty evident. Like we disagree on some things.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of things we agree on.
Oh yes, a lot of things. Like that he needs, that he needs to watch 2001 Space Odyssey. That's a big one.
Oh, totally.
And Top Gun. immediately.
Oh,
Oh,
hell yeah.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
hey,
I saw Top
anybody
Gun.
seen-
I saw Top
Okay,
Gun.
wait, hold on. Has anybody seen the new one?
No, I haven't seen that.
No, I ain't gonna do it.
Oh,
I'm gonna wait.
God.
I'm gonna wait 30 years to see that one too.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of the new movies. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, they're like legit in these jets. Okay, they're not flying them, but they're in them.
Didn't Tom Cruise learn how to fly an actual Tomcat though?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's a pilot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore.
Actors
And
are
you know, here's the thing about Tom Cruise that like gave me a lot of respect for him. There was a scene, I don't remember which one it was, but a scene where like somebody had to like bring a knife down like a millimeter away from his eyeball. And he's like, "Yep, you got to do it for real. You got to actually like this
Yeah.
legit has to like almost puncture my eye."
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
You know.
he like hung onto the side of a aircraft like taking off, I think. Like
He done did some crazy stuff.
that guy
But-
is ballsy.
But that's for art. I mean, like, does that?
Come on, you know, doesn't matter what it's for. Would you do that?
Well,
No.
I mean,
Probably not. I don't know. If I was that dedicated in the acting, probably would. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio, didn't he like starve himself and go out into the wilderness for however long to do that movie?
the one where he got like fucked up by a bear and then he just like gasped and gargled for the like 2 hours and won an award for that.
The Revenant.
Yeah, the Revenant. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he really went out there and starved for it. Like
I mean, but Christian Bale like starved himself to like 80 pounds for the mechanic, and then like a month later buffed up for Batman Begins, you know, like
that's
and
dangerous.
he didn't. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, you can go to extremes, but how much does that really matter?
Like,
I don't think it actually matters, honestly.
And actors are weird people anyway. I mean, think about it. You'll sit there and spend 2 years being someone that's not you. Like, how much time do you spend not being you at all? Like, these people do it constantly.
Yep.
Sometimes, you know, through their whole lives. Look at Denzel and Morgan Freeman and stuff. Like, they do it forever. You know, like, I've never even done it a day where I'm like, okay, today I'm not Josh. I'm Mac Willis, you know, guy from wherever, you know, or something. Like, most people don't even attempt to even try it. But these people, day in, day out, pretend that, you know, there's someone else and we're going to film it and we're going to put it out and we're going to make millions off of it. Yep. Hundreds of millions off of it. You know, you know, in the MCU, it's like, oh yeah, I was Thanos for like 2.5 years. That's who I was, you know, like, you know, because when we think about it in kind of play form. Well, it's like, oh, we watched this 2-hour movie and these are people pretending to be somebody for 2 hours, but it's actually not. They're doing this for two and 3 years at a time. And they're working every single day, you know, Monday through Friday in a lot of cases. You know, Game of Thrones, I watched that until, you know, the very, you know, last season that was kind of a piss off. But at the same time, you know, but at the same time, like this, I mean, the girl Arya, she pretty much grew up on the show. You know, that's crazy. You know, that amount of time goes into being something that you are not. A person that doesn't even live in the same time that you know, your actual self lives in. You know, that's crazy. That's a lot.
Yeah. And you go back to like the 1930s where there was like, you know, the dude from Gone with the Wind or whatever, like wrecked something or other, like nowhere near that amount of dedication, but still the same kind of reverence, like,
Yeah.
Well,
Huh.
I would my drunk ass self. All the world is a stage, and we are merely players.
Yep.
Well, not everyone on the stage is going to have a hangover like I am. So
Oddly, I never have had a hangover.
Man.
oh man, you're not diving deep enough into the sink then.
Dude, do I have to? I'm like 8 beers, like 9, 10. I mean, how many beers do I have to drink before I have a hangover?
You got to step it up to the rum, dude. Yes.
I have really bad hangovers. I get drunk and then like the next morning, of course my head hurting, my stomach don't know like what to do. My knees are kind of weak and it'll go on to like 5 or 6:30, and then I'll do it again. Like why not? why not?
Yeah.
I going way back to like 98, 99, like I used to drink so much to the point where like I would have competitions with my friends to see who would puke first.
It's kind of weird when you think about it. You'll drink for like 3 or 4 hours and feel bad for like 18 and then turn around and do it again. Like
Yep.
just
It's all
the trade-off.
dopamine. Dopamine it's a powerful influencer.
Exactly. It is.
And that comes from sex or gambling or
Yep.
You name it. Like watching a good TV show, whatever it is.
Definitely that one.
Did somebody mention sex? Man, this is so awesome. A
This
conversation.
is totally our longest episode. We're going on 4 hours, aren't we?
What?
Oh man.
4? Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Wait. Hold on. I didn't even start the timer. Oh, dang it.
We should probably go so Eric can masturbate. And
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I need to see what is going on here. Still
oh man, it's like middle of the night for you, huh?
Oh yeah. I don't know what time it is. It's 1:51. That's crazy. I did not know we was talking that
150. Okay. Yep. I was gonna try to inject 24-hour time, but yeah, 0150.
Oh, 150.
Yeah, it's not really as remarkable.
The kind of funny part about it is I'm actually in Alabama, so it's actually 12:51, but I keep my clock dialed in on Eastern time. So even if I come like all the way to California, my clock will keep showing me Eastern time, and that's pretty much how I judge everything by. So it's that's what I do. I don't actually let my clock just slide with the time zone. That'll get you in trouble with some deliveries like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
you'll be all good if you come to Nashville and on Memorial Day weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Wait, hang on a second. Do I have to like go there too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We'll make an episode out of it somehow.
Yeah, I'll drive down there. I'll drive down because I don't fly, so I'll drive down.
Let me tell you, that's a big undertaking.
Yeah,
I've done it twice now.
Heck
oh man.
And I drive for a living, so that's
man.
for me.
Yep.
Wow. Well, all I gotta say is can't wait for the barbecue. It's gonna be good.
We'll bring some Washington weed.
Oh man. We'll just be like, fuck you.
I'm not saying that I did this, but when COVID was a thing and the TSA would actually have to like fire up the metal detectors when you showed up, like it was that dead.
Those are not metal detectors, by the way.
You could smuggle weed across the country pretty easy.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'm sure you can.
Oh, this conversation is so amazing. Oh God.
Oh man.
Wow. Oh. Holy shit. We gotta do this again.
Yep, we gotta do this again. Y'all just come up with the subject and and I'll help y'all just run off on it.
You don't even have to have a subject. Dude, you don't have to have a subject. Just give us a starting point and we'll land here.
I definitely got
several hours later.
I definitely got to be at home so I can drink too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when my mind really just goes poof, and I can really have fun with it.
No, I was counting on you to be the voice of reason. Holy shit.
It'll be. I mean, it'll still be reason. Some reason.
Yeah.
Some reason at some point. I don't know.
Oh man.
So yeah, we got to definitely do this again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, and a barbecue would be fucking epic.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
Hell yeah.
Where the DEA will have no eyes or ears.
Or the DEA will be speared to tread. Oh man. I'd prefer the latter. But oh man, this is good. How did we get to this point?
God dang.
Oh man. Holy shit.
Yeah, we never even really talked that much about Derek Chauvin or the case. Like,
but honestly, we did in a roundabout way.
we did. Yeah.
We
did
address him directly, really, really in depth.
It's more about the perspective and the
concept and things like that. Yeah.
The climate after his trial.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, okay. This is a point where we have to go back into this again. So, all right, Derek Chauvin, let's go back in again in the future.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe after the actual sentencing, we should come back to it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah. See what happens.
I still feel like we made more headway than any judicial jurisdiction ever has.
It should all be handled this way with lots of beer and weed and like
smoke a bunch of weed, drink a bunch of beer, like whatever, anything goes. You know what? If you want to fuck, go ahead.
Honestly, like you lose inhibition, you lose prejudice, you lose all kinds of
that happens. Yeah, that happens a lot.
Man.
Only thing bad about losing the inhibition is sometimes you'll do something stupid, like try to jump off a roof into a pool, but you don't make it.
Well, the only stupid thing I've done is dumbass posts on Facebook. So I guess I dodged a bullet there.
I once chased somebody down and cut him for playing Limp Bizkit instead of Judas Priest. That was my dumbest moment, I guess. That just shows how wide an angle you can take on that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Oh,
before we get too incriminating, I guess we should wrap up the show.
I think we've already been too incriminating. But that's okay. Yeah.
Well, we need to let Josh get some sleep because he's got 3 hours on us.
Oh, shit. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, you're like way ahead of us.
And I still gotta work after this. I still gotta work.
You're like
Man.
you're drunk by proxy though. Like
you know, I'm gonna do. I don't know. I'm gonna drive probably like 3 or 4 hours and just.
Oh, geez.
I'll get up and do the rest tomorrow. I mean, I don't have to, but I'm going to try to make it easier.
Dude, you have balls of steel. I'm gonna give you the Duke Nukem treatment. Oh man. Oh shit.
Yeah, well, it was very nice talking to you guys, and we gotta do it again.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
I feel like we've basically solved everything. So let's do it again.
The meaning of life is 42.
Yes, it is. Oh man. Oh wow.
That hits the record for the longest episode for sure.
Longer than the anti-vaxxer one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like 3 hours. But this is oh my god, this is good. Such an epic conversation. Like, oh man, you gotta come back. We gotta
Definitely
talk about this again.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
And we're gonna make Nashville happen. We're gonna have it we're gonna have it be a live, like in person sort of drunken debauchery kind of philosophy sort of.
Man.
Well, it's okay if there's like a bunch of dancing girls.
That's cool in Tennessee. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Good. Oh man. Well, I guess
if anyone's still awake, thanks for deep sink diving with us.
We actually have four people watching.
What?
Yeah, it's 4 people watching now.
Who is crazy enough to be watching this shit?
I don't know, but there's 4 of them. Oh man.
Oh.
Well, yeah, dude, we gotta let you go. You gotta get some sleep.
Yeah. Like I said, just hit me up. I will come back anytime.
Definitely.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's awesome to have met you virtually. And
I would like for that meeting to be personally.
Yep.
Let's do a barbecue together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Tennessee barbecue, man.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Heck yeah. All right. I'll talk to you guys the next time.
All right, man.
All right.
Oh yeah. Peace out.
All right. You too, man.
Have a good night.
Right.
All right.